Mr. Inference. Oh, should I voice them? Because after I voiced Angels of Death, that was a whole treat, so I feel like I should voice them again. Alright, I'll give Mr. Inference the voice I gave Mercenary a second ago. After I put down the crossword puzzle, the door creaks open as a group of people walks in from the memorial hall. And the solemn looks on their faces make the already cold room grow even colder. If I mispronounce anything, I'm sorry. Oh no, it's DM! What voice do I give DM? I kinda wanna give him the Danny voice. Angels of Death playthrough people. Should I give DM the Danny voice? If nobody says anything in the next minute, I'll do it. So you lose either way. I've set up like a saw trap. It's like if you say no, you have a minute to say no. Or otherwise, I will bring back the Danny voice and I will use it on photographer. No, a bunch of people left the stream. I'm sorry. I'll do it. We are all gathered here today for the same person. It is to remember our friend, an independent and strong woman, a kind-hearted individual, a great novelist, and a Discord moderator. Ray of light in the literary world, Miss ZINAIDA. I think that's how it's pronounced. If it's not, so sorry. Do it. Okay, well, too late, I'm doing it. Oh, this castle still looks the same from the time we met. I remember her telling me that she inherited it from her ancestors. But she isn't fond of this castle, so besides the study, the rest of the castle is empty. Now even the study is empty. A young woman walks over to ZINAIDA'S portrait. I had no idea that my reunion with ZINAIDA would be at her funeral. I used to exchange correspondence with her via letters, and we would exchange our views on novels. But it should be around 2 years since we last wrote to each other. Use the drive. Okay, we're gonna examine. Hello. She's got wind chimes on her. There's a pair of scissors, a syringe, and other medical instruments hanging by her waist, as well as a vial of liquid. It's blood. No, go. Elegantly dressed and appears to be highly educated, as you could tell by my mature woman voice that I used for her. She is very close to the man by her side. They seem to be more than just acquaintances. The man by her side seems distracted. His mind isn't in the conversation. I can't read. Why didn't we get these skins? They're so dapper. I want these. Netties. Give me these skins. B tiers, right now. Simple medical instruments like medical scissors and tweezers hang from the waist. That's dangerous. And that's all we get to point out about him. No other striking features. Based on their dressing, it's possible that they are doctors. Duke, I owe you my thanks for informing us. As the director of a children's hospital, I will now confirm that I am indeed a doctor. I have to manage the entire place, so both my assistant and I would have missed a good friend's funeral if it wasn't for your letter. Aside from being her close friend, ZINAIDA is also an influential novelist. News of her death was even reported in the news, in the papers. How could she not have known that ZINAIDA passed away? ZINAIDA never forgot all of you. She even wrote some interesting things about the children's hospital in our correspondence. Oh, really? The director of the children's hospital seems unhappy. They murdered kids there. No. But it only took a moment for her to remove that slight frown from her face. It's all in the past. She's passed away too. She took my secrets with her, so it's unnecessary to mention unpleasant things. Fine, the invite wasn't of my own accord. It was ZINAIDA'S wish, and I just sent the invitations on her behalf. You guys want to play Dungeons and Dragons? Slightly unpleasant things? Ma'am, may I ask if something happened between you and ZINAIDA? Did you perhaps kill her? She seems wary after I interjected. May I know who you are? Oh, I invited him. He's a loser. Don't pay attention to him. Allow me to introduce him to everyone. This is Mr. Inference, a famous detective. I'm kind of mixing up my voices. Shoot. I do that every time. Oh, I've heard of you. If memory serves, you solved the Golden Rose Theater incident, right? I wonder who here in this room could have caused that. Indeed. We're gathered here today to mourn the loss of ZINAIDA, a person we have never ever heard of before this event. Unless I'm wrong and I don't know truth and inference lore. Mr. Inference, are you a friend of ZINAIDA'S too? Wait, is it? It is ZINAIDA. Whatever, that's what I'm gonna say. If it's not, too bad. I'm sorry to say that I did not know her prior to this. Today's funeral can be considered my first time meeting Miss ZINAIDA. Why are you here? You don't have to worry, miss. Unless necessary, just pretend like we don't exist. Unless necessary? Then what about when it's necessary? Oh, Lady Truth! She's the cutest. What voice do I give her? What's like a nice... I don't have that many voices, guys. There's too many characters. When the truth remains hidden and the facts are concealed by lies, that is when a detective is necessary. It is a detective's duty to reveal the truth and bring justice to those who have gone to the eternal rest. May I know who you are? She's my assistant and a detective, Lady Truth. Indeed! Ugh, yikes. This is an awful stream. Sway's here? What the heck? I can't come up with that many voices, guys. And this is Sway, our mutual friend. Hello, I have no intention to disturb anyone. I don't know what that was. That was like vaguely accented, but I feel like it was offensive, but I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. I don't know what that was. I was trying to do like a cool voice, but it didn't work. I can't, there's too many characters. Hello, I have no intention to disturb anyone. Mr. Inference, since you're not here as a friend, then are you here as a detective? No, don't leave the stream. Great stream, no it's not. I shouldn't have streamed this. I was like, maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't. And maybe I shouldn't have. Hey, I got an A tier out of it, so who's really winning? Was ZINAIDA'S cause of death not suicide, but something else? At this point, you're gonna be doing 23 different voices at once. I only have like 3 I can do. More voices. How do I voice Andrew? Okay, I gotta channel my like inner sad, pathetic Victorian child. Ahem. The man sitting quietly in the corner coughs and interrupts our conversation. Previously, he avoided participating in any conversations. That was evident by the fact that he did not speak. He merely kept one hand on a thick old book while the other frequently lifted his necklace to his lips as he prayed in silence. He's a God-fearing man, I think. He shouldn't be playing D&D. He thinks that's the work of the devil. Oh no. His pale skin seems like it's a type of skin disease. The slightly dignified clothes on him are a clear indication of his profession. He should be a priest. Let's just hope he doesn't vape like Reverend Grey from Angels of Death. Puffy eyes and dried tear stains on the face. Seems like he is very saddened by ZINAIDA'S passing. Okay, inner pathetic Victorian child. I'm sorry. I'm afraid I must interrupt your conversation. I'm sorry. I can't do this. Is this what we're doing? Is this the voice we're going with? Today is a day for ZINAIDA. It is the day she returns to the arms of God and the day we mourn her as friends. I think we should avoid mentioning unpleasant things at a moment like this. It is disliked by God. He kisses the necklace around his neck, and it glows strangely under the light. That's a false idol. Seems to be holding some kind of liquid. I suspect it's the holy water of his faith. As a friend of ZINAIDA'S as well, my thoughts differ slightly from yours. I think we should talk about all morbid things and act as affronts to God. If there is something strange about ZINAIDA'S passing, I'm sure you want to know the truth too, right? The man dressed as a priest does not offer another answer and places his hand back on the thick book. Damn, I think you should stop sitting in silence there on the sofa. Pursuing the truth is our job. That's why it's in my name. So instead of wasting time like this, why don't we just clear the air? Sneering. Oh wait, I probably wasn't supposed to read sneering. That's not a word he said. Now that Lady Truth has spoken of it so openly, I have no reason to continue keeping it from all of you. Just like all of you, I consider ZINAIDA a very good friend, except Mr. Inference and Lady Truth, who just do not know this person. And we were lucky enough to become friends with a common interest during a chess bar at a club. I must say, if it's according to the general opinion of society, ZINAIDA is not someone who is easy to get along with. But neither am I, so our inseparability got along very well with each other's. Some became close to her because of her novels. Yet some parted ways with her because of the implied facts within the same novels. Some made friends with her out of kindness, yet she failed to realize the motives hidden behind it all. The director of the children's hospital and the priest looked down. Seems DM's words were implying something. I decided to gather more information from everyone. Alright, who do we want to talk to? All of our plentiful options. Who out of this wide cast of characters do we want to speak to? I think maybe the children's hospital director. Hello, miss. I didn't have a chance to ask just now. May I know your name? I'm Elsa? From Frozen? No way! That's crazy. I'm Elsa Goodwin, the director of the children's hospital and an old friend of ZINAIDA'S. Hello, Miss Goodwin. What was that voice? How did you and ZINAIDA meet? I met her at a book club. She's fond of interacting with her readers. As one of her loyal readers, we often exchanged letters, and a good friendship gradually bloomed between us. Oh, excuse me for being so bold, but you mentioned that you haven't been in contact for 2 years. May I know why? I am mixing up all of these voices. She shoots a hesitant look at me. It's because of one of her novels. My hospital was entangled in a scandal. What I'm trying to say is, as my friend, she would have taken my side, instead of using what she knew as material for her novel. People may not necessarily believe everything written down in black and white, but their imagination runs wild when something is used as a metaphor in a novel. What happened at the hospital? It was a small-scale diphtheria? I don't know if that's... I don't know anything about medical stuff. I'm sorry. I feel awful now. My cat's at the door again. I can't keep voices straight. This is a miserable stream. Hold on. Let me let my cat in. Anyways, and at the time, we thought of some ways to prevent the infection from spreading further. It was just killing everyone who had it off. She intentionally emphasized the word minor. Sounds like it was pretty major to me. The cause of the controversy was our handling of the matter. Hi, Ginger. That was a loud entrance. What you doing, baby? My cat has crashed the stream because it wouldn't be a stream of mine without my cat just showing up, so. I failed to explain it to her in time, and so some misunderstandings arose between us. I was the one who killed her. How did you handle the matter? That is not something you need to know. Well, let's see what your husband has to say about that. Hello, sir. Are you here with Miss Goodwin? His gaze wanders off as if he didn't hear me at all, so I waved my hand in front of him. Hello? Now at this point, I think everyone here needs an emo Victorian voice. Please, the one I'm doing for Andrew is already killing me. I can't do more. I like my bad anime protagonist, Mr. Inference. Sir! I don't remember what voice I gave him if I did. I don't think he spoke. I don't know if he spoke. He would have like a sad Victorian voice too. Or what's like, huh? Oh, hello. Are you here with Miss Goodwin? Yeah, I'm Isaac Goodwin, her assistant and husband. We're newlyweds. Could you tell me about your relationship with Zinaida? I hear you often write to each other. Zinaida. I'm sorry, I rarely speak to her, so I can't help you. He doesn't shoot another glance at me. It's as if his attention isn't on our conversation at all. Mr. Goodwin! Huh? The infection at the children's hospital caused the misunderstanding between you and Zinaida. What happened then? She has told you everything she knows. Do you have anything to add? Come on, give us some more information, man. But as soon as I asked my question, he was already looking down, and his mind has drifted far away. Man, that guy's useless. Let's talk to the sad Victorian child. Hello, may I know your name? Just call me Pastor. What was that? Hello, Pastor. I'm sorry for what happened. I sound a little like Sonic. Gotta go fast. He's quite nervous and doesn't dare look people in the eye as he speaks. Calm down, Pastor. I just want to find out if you were invited by DM2. Did you murder her? No, Zinaida invited me. She promised me a surprise on the day of her funeral. She pops out of the coffin and there's like confetti. Surprise! A surprise? What kind of surprise? There's a disco ball that comes down. It's like da 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 da. What what in the good heavens is happening? I don't know. I'm reminded of the Easter egg on the crossword puzzle blocks. It was some kind of surprise left by Zinaida too. I know I can't read. May I know how long you've known Zinaida? Zinaida and I have known each other for 2 years. We met in church. That's why I meet everyone. I don't leave the church very often. Not gotta go fast. I mean, I was getting a little Sonic-y with it. I can't tell if it's because we're strangers. His tone seems quite timid. Relax, Pastor. I just want to be your friend. Here, give me your hand. We'll hold hands. We can run together through the pastures. I just want to know more about Zinaida. He nods and heaves a sigh of relief. I may not known her for long, but it feels like a lifetime. Did you get along well with Zinaida? You look quite young. Yes, she used to drive all the way to the church every Sunday, and I always listened to her speak about her pain. It was very sad, very agonizing. Despair and penitence in the confessional. She had a lot of problems, that one. That's why she played D&D all the time. It was escapism, you know. I don't know what this voice is. It's my fault that... What? She'd shown signs of suicidal thoughts in the past. If I had been able to catch her cries for help, I might have been able to save her. She pops out of the coffin. Surprise! Sorry. When did she have such thoughts? I feel like I should put a hotline up on the stream or something. I need to stop playing games that tackle such heavy subjects. She stopped coming to church a while ago. I got worried and went to visit her. Wait, is Sonic Mr. Inference? He is in this timeline. She'd already started vaguely expressing some pessimistic thoughts, yet I failed to give her more help. He restrained his emotions and kisses the necklace on his chest. You've done enough, Pastor. Quite enough. It's actually entirely your fault. You should feel awful. Thank you. So she started having those thoughts after she stopped going to church? Maybe God really is the answer. It's all my fault. I pat him on the shoulder to comfort him. There are other familiar faces here, some of which were invited by DM. I feel he has some guesses, which led to him getting fully prepared. Led him to get fully prepared. Sorry, I can't read. Succubus? Hello? I don't know how to... What voice do I give her? She's cool. She's so cool. What's, Can I do the, like, sad Victorian voice, but, like, more feminine? I mean, I always sound vaguely feminine, but, like... We meet again, Mr. Inference? That actually sounds like it would fit Truth better, but whatever, we'll do it for Succubus. Miss Succubus! We met back then in Meliodas? Meliodas? I don't actually know. We would have thought that the Duke would have brought us together again. Excuse me, but may I know what you're doing here, Miss Succubus? I was invited by ZINAIDA. In her last letter to me, she mentioned wanting me to witness the interesting events that are about to happen. I can't. This is every time I stream. I say this every stream and I mean it every time. Every time I stream, I'm like, it can't be worse than the last one. And then it just is. Why? At this point, besides the Goodwin couple who were indirectly invited by ZINAIDA, Succubus and the priest were directly invited. Wait, hold on. Ginger, what are you doing? She's just scratching at the wall. Ginger, what are you doing, baby? Ginger. Whatever. I can't. What did ZINAIDA prepare? Miss Succubus, may I know how you and ZINAIDA met? Ginger, what are you doing? Miss ZINAIDA is a friend I met a few years ago. Where did the two of you meet? It was she who came to visit me at my home. She was friends with my father. Perhaps she came to seek out some material for her work. But it was really fun. In the process of getting along with each other, she became my material instead. I like women. What do you mean? Something interesting happened to her. Any normal person would have had a mental breakdown from it. But ZINAIDA was different, and the misfortune that befell her inspired her to a certain extent instead. Oh, it's Sway. I can't do the weird accent voice for her. I was going down, so she might just be normal. She might just have a normal voice. I'm happy to see you here, Sway. By the way, are you still investigating the Bellerstein event? What? Are you still interested in that incident? You know, the one where I got buried alive? Why would you still be interested in that? Nothing interesting happened there. No, you misunderstood. I just want to avoid causing unnecessary trouble for your work again. Then it is better not to ask. I'm sure you're aware that the Ulil? I hate names, stop. Family is famous for its ruthlessness. She seems to realize something abruptly and changes the topic. Maybe I shouldn't talk about my work. Feel free to ask if you need my help with this case. Oh, I didn't mean to click that. I nod. I decided to pursue an answer about the previous case, and turn around and notice two bros looking warily at us. He's just here. Why is everyone just here? Oh no, I can't. There are too many characters to voice. Why did I think this was a good idea? I should do my Zach voice, just because it's Ripper. It's been a long time, two bros. I didn't expect you to. He interrupts me and explains right away. Someone paid the huge bail for me, and the Duke invited me this time. Why did DM invite you? Smiles strangely. He has a mask. How are you seeing his smile? For the same reason he invited you. Are you investigating too? Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary here? You'll find out soon enough. Why is everybody here? Why are there so many people here? I can't do this. How did you find this place? Taps on a device he carries. My detector told me that a supernatural event would be happening here. I don't know what this voice is, but we're going with it. It doesn't sound anything like he would sound like, but it's what we're going with. Where will it be? Right it in this room, and it's about to happen. I said what I said. What? It was just a joke. Can't I just seek temporary shelter from the terrible weather outside? I could only wave my hand helplessly at his ill-timed joke. Suddenly a bolt of lightning flashes by, and the darkness and silence engulf the room. Only the intense pattering of the rain outside the window remains. It is as a terrifying existence is approaching amid the silence. The lights go out and everyone's dead. Please do not worry, it is just a circuit trip, but sharing a serious matter with everyone in an atmosphere like this makes it a much more interesting. I added an A to that sentence. The game is just taunting me now. It really is. I was like, oh, I'll voice this, because I didn't think everybody would speak. I just thought it would be like, oh, and they're here. I gathered all of you here today because I wish to tell you that our friend ZINAIDA probably didn't take her own life. It was homicide. The homosexuals did it? What? I'm sorry. Hello, you... yeah, hello, welcome to the stream. I'm so sorry that you have to be here today. This is a rough one. Shock spreads throughout the room. You just woke up. I need to go to bed, personally. As far as I know, ZINAIDA was a stubborn workaholic, especially when it came to her creations. I'm getting a zillion pings, and all of them are from the Identity 5 Discord servers. She would finish every piece of her work, sometimes even in ways that most may not be able to understand. She used to hang dead foxes in her room to help herself concentrate on her writing. That's a little weird. And not too long ago, she even purchased a large batch of herbs. What did she get them for? Those herbs are still in these bookcases. They're right next to those manuscripts. DM points at the bookcases at the back. Wait, Zach, it's Datura! It reminds me of what Tubro said to me. This should be the reason why DM brought him here. Please don't tell me Datura's here too. I can't. There are too many people. I can't voice all of them. I'm sure you all met him earlier. This is my friend, someone knowledgeable in herbology. I invited him here to verify this. I can almost imagine her chewing on Datura as she scribbled. All of you know what she's been up to lately. That unfinished novel of hers has been taking up most of her attention. I was amazed by how focused a person could become for the sake of completing a novel. We met briefly not too long ago. Her hair was in an absolute mess, but even her unkempt appearance couldn't hide the light in her eyes. Just think about it, based on your understanding of ZINAIDA, would she take her own life at a time like this? Would she allow her child to be lost just like that? Don't let me start writing Raw right until the day I die. That's something she always said. It seemed to have come true. Wait, even if that's the truth, that alone isn't enough to determine that ZINAIDA didn't die by suicide. Datura is a great pick-me-up. I thought he was gonna say pick-me. Like pick-me girl. DM got Danny's voice. Yeah, that was a whole thing. I only have so many voices and I'm running out of them fast. Datura is a great pick-me-up at the right dosage. So is belladonna. If I do say so myself. But excessive consumption can lead to death. It gets a little tricky at this point. Did ZINAIDA cause her own death while trying to finish writing? Or did someone aware of her habits tamper with the herbs? It wouldn't be the first time stuff like that happens. What do you think, Mr. Inference? I don't know yet, but I'd like to have a look at the bookcase DM just mentioned. If it helps, you can take a look at anything you want, so long as you don't mess them up. ZINAIDA will understand. Alright, let's take a look at the bookcase. What's at the bookcase? Every time it cuts to the part where you can, like, drag the magnifying glass around, it reminds me of those, like, really bad mobile games that are, like, not like Merge Mansion or whatever, but, like, the ones where it's, like, you gotta solve the mystery, but it's, like, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going on this tangent. This is the last letter Zinaida left behind. After verifying the handwriting, everyone concludes that it does indeed belong to Zinaida. Whoa, I just like short-circuited. What was that? I like actually went zzz. I got like electrocuted. What the heck? It sounds like I shorted out. To those whom I love and those who love me, forgive me for leaving like this without saying goodbye. This decision does not leave me in fear or regret, and I feel relaxed and at peace instead. My dear loved ones, I can no longer bear this abyss of pain. When I look back at my life, my terrible marriage, and the first half of my life tortured me both physically and mentally, and I finally found a moment of peace once that demon was gone. Writing used to be one of the greatest joys in my life, but now that my mind seems to be spiraling out of control, I am losing control of the characters I write. And when the insomnia strikes, those soulless words of mine transform into the devil that binds my soul. Even seeking psychiatric help failed to silence the voice in my head. I'm tired. I dream of having a good night's sleep, and may the land of peace be devoid of noise. Damn, girl. Alright, let's see what's over here. A sketchbook in a cabinet shows that it was probably used by an author to record drafts. There's a unique smell in the notebook. Tumors recognize it as the smell of datura. Deem explained that it's a herb used to help with concentration, and as a workaholic, Zinaida had a habit of using herbs to help with her concentration. Yep, that wasn't repetitive at all. Alright, let's see. A few tear catchers. I read that wrong. A few tear catchers stand above the fireplace. The clear bottles indicate they are empty. People catch their tears in these bottles of silver or tin as a symbol of mourning. There are 8 of them! Damn, bitch, you cry with those eyes? I played this one mobile escape room puzzle game, and you had to be in an exact certain spot in order to get a clue or solve a puzzle, and it was a pain to complete. Yeah. That sounds miserable. 3 unique swords are hanging on the wall. It's the 2 swords mentioned in the book DM sent me. Medea's Redemption, a story about a woman killing her husband for revenge in a fantasy world. I did some research on the novel. The story caused controversy in the past because someone else helped the woman kill her husband in the end, and Zinaida was rather skilled at using open-ended endings to leave it to the reader's imagination. As for whether the story alludes to her own life, I don't know. Zinaida sounds like Melly. She was chewing on datura, maybe that's the plot twist. A yellow note falls out from between the pages of the sketchbook. That electrical accident left you devastated from the loss of a loved one, but accidents are just a perfect performance. If you seek the truth, the one you seek will be in the hymn of the outskirts. Okay. It's signed with a question mark. The outskirts, electrical accident. A moment later, pastor's voice interrupts my thoughts. I do not agree with you. Damn, bitch, okay. Pastor has his fist clenched and seems to have mustered up a great deal of courage. Oh no, we're getting into a fight with Andrew. Let's go. I think your arbitrary assertion is disrespectful to God and disrespectful to Zinaida. He always puts God first. It's almost like that's what the Bible says to do. Crazy. God has accepted Zinaida into his embrace. She is now his most holy child, and so the disputes during her life mean nothing to Zinaida now. She has found eternal peace in the embrace of God. I respect your belief, but I think the Duke is correct too. Zinaida was hateful of injustice, and her novels were revenge. Although she may not say it, her amazing penmanship brings down punishment upon those who are unjust. However, her character is sometimes unpleasant to others. It's because she wrote your hospital scandals into her story. So you held a grudge against her, right? What did you just say? Her husband, who has remained silent by her side until now, angrily punches his own palm. Oh, he's getting angry. Let's go. We're all gonna get into a fight. Pastor doesn't say another word, but his fists remain clenched. They'll pay for this. Is he displeased or nervous? Forgive me. If I were to evaluate Zinaida while she was still alive, I'd say she isn't someone with an extreme personality, and she's just terribly misunderstood. Her terrible mirage was torture to her. Did all of you notice that part of the letter? She mentioned that before. He looks down and kisses the necklace once more. The cold and humid room is exceptionally silent. The only pattering of rain outside the window seems to be listening to the secrets. I butchered all of that. 2 years ago, she came to my church. Am I offending all of the Victorians in the chat? At first, I thought it was an ordinary confession. But as I got to know her more, I realized that Zinaida had been suffering from domestic violence. When I met her, her husband, a physics scientist, passed away due to an electrical accident during an experiment. But she couldn't escape the memories of the abuse. It seemed like the pain remained even after his departure. God once helped the lost lamb find her way home, and once gave Zinaida resolve. I only hate myself for not continuing to pray for her. Diem interrupts Pastor in an impatient tone. Pastor's grip does not loosen at all. I've heard of her husband. He was just a failure. You would be flattering him by calling him a scientist. 2 years ago, the police found alcohol at the scene, and a death like that would be quite common for an alcoholic. I've taken a look at the files of that case. Oh, why don't you tell us about it? The truth may be different from what you know. Goodness. The local police found a type of special lethal dosage of drugs in his system, which appeared to be the sort of fern upon further investigation. However, the police are unable to determine if he consumed it willingly. Guys, I cannot tell if I'm just reading these too fast and reading them wrong, or the grammar is actually bad due to translation, so just bear with me. Oh, let's get back on topic. Zinaida's husband isn't the main character today. So Zinaida's husband may not have died due to a laboratory accident. I'm reminded of the 3 swords on the wall, and I make the inference, like Mr. Inference? Yo. The story may be based on the relationship between her and her husband. However, in the story, it wasn't the wife who killed her husband, it was someone else. Her husband clearly died due to an accident, yet Zinaida wrote about another person being the killer. Why did she do that? Does it refer to someone in real life, too? Pastor, why don't you ever mention your real identity? You keep saying that you were close to Zinaida. Oh, I'm glad you think the voice is funny. I'm trying so hard. I'm very, very tired. A lot of people weren't here at the start of the stream, so I'm going to interject it again. But I've had a kind of rough past couple of days, and so I wasn't confident in doing this stream, and so I'm a little jittery and anxious. So I'm really glad that you think it's funny and that it's entertaining in some aspects. So you keep saying that you were close to Zinaida, but you weren't completely unrelated to her husband either. He was your uncle. Ooh, we're dropping lore bombs. It turns out that the pastor is a nephew of the Zinaida's husband? I almost said uncle. No way! Well, I mean, DM already brought it up, so why would I not ask him? What's the worst he's gonna do? He's got his fist clenched. He's a man of God. He wouldn't punch me. Pastor, I mean no harm. I just want to know why you haven't mentioned your relationship with Zinaida's husband. I'm sorry. My uncle and I lost contact a long time ago, so I never mentioned it to anyone. Is that all? The way I see it, your uncle passed away due to an accident. You don't seem concerned at all, huh? I have ceased to concern myself with the strangers of this world unless they stop lusting after the world and return to God's embrace and become one of God's people. Zinaida was my friend and a sister of mine in the kingdom of God. As for her husband was my uncle, but that's the extent of our relationship. His answer sounds quite cold and indifferent, which may be an indication of his relationship with Zinaida's husband. I don't know. I think he likes God. Just a little bit. However, his attitude conveys something else. It's that he does not care about anyone besides those who are connected to his faith, even if that person is related to him by blood. However, Pastor's attitude still raises my suspicion. Does the hymn of the outskirts mentioned in the note refer to him? And who wrote that mysterious note to Zinaida? But I didn't get to know Zinaida because of my uncle, and it was Zinaida who came to my church. We didn't know each other before that. Are you suspecting my relationship with Zinaida just because I didn't mention my uncle? He clenches his fists again. Oh no. He's trying to start a fight. Relax, Pastor. I was just asking. Everyone knows how emotionally attached you are to your friends, so no one doubts you. Pastor seems to have no interest in paying any more attention to DM. It seems it was my mistake to mention such unpleasant matters and spoil the peaceful atmosphere of this funeral. Then let's get back to what we were doing. It's almost time for the eulogy, my friend, so please let's put aside our prior disagreements. DM picks up the tear catchers above the fireplace. In memory of our eternal friend Zinaida. Everyone takes their tear catcher from DM. I've read about this custom. In the local religion of this area, people shed one last tear for the deceased during the funeral and store it in a blessed vial. The tear can represent longing or even repentance. Once it's sealed in the vial, all yearning and debts will be isolated beyond this world. Alright guys, time to cry! Meanwhile, Pastor reorganizes his emotions and starts to read the eulogy. Unlike his timid self from before, once he got to work, he seemed so staunch, as if he was a completely different person. I am like slurring my words. I can't speak. Everyone sobs softly and catches their tears into the catchers. The sorrowful atmosphere reaches its peak, and the unpleasant exchange from before is washed away. With God's blessing, we mourn the passing of our late friend Zinaida, whose sudden passing is a huge loss to us. I'm crying. This is my crying voice now. But we know that God is welcome. Why did I say God? God, we know that God is welcoming her back to the embrace of paradise. In life, she used her talent and faith to show love to the world, while her pen painted a wonderful and miraculous world. Now she has returned to God's embrace and revels in God's glory. We will never stop missing her work and her influence on us, and she will live forever in our memories until the day we meet again in paradise. In eternal memory of Zinaida. Why don't we do something meaningful in memory of her? She only managed to finish the character background and the opening of that unfinished novel of hers. I'm sure she will never be able to rest in peace if her novel is abandoned just like that. And she's so fond of using metaphors to write reality into her novels, so why don't we fulfill her dream and complete the novel? What do we have to do? He turns to the hidden switch in the table and a board game setup appears. It's time. We're gonna play D&D. At long last. We used to play board games, and she often said that games are not only able to imitate life, but they can also expose a person's true nature. You can pass around this novel's setting to get an understanding of it. Oh, it's D&D time, boys. How long have I been streaming? I've been streaming for actually exactly an hour. And we're just now getting to D&D. But let's agree beforehand that no matter how unbelievable the things that happen to the story's characters are, we cannot let the story come to a stop. This is an improv troupe now. Yes ands only. This cast of characters would be an improv troupe. They've got the colorful personalities for it. Mr. Inference, this is a great opportunity. I think I'll sit out of it. All of you know Zinaida well, but I don't, so it's not suitable for me to participate in her novel. As I decline, DM passes me the sketchbook, and I notice the paper has been slotted in between the pages. Oh, and aren't you going to take a look at the novel's setting before deciding? Maybe this story will pique your interest. What DM said confused me, but I felt he may be indirectly hinting at something. I could only accept the sketchbook. I unfold the paper in the sketchbook, and it turns out to be a coroner's report. The physical condition of the deceased is as follows. I'm not even gonna try and read medical terms. Oh wait, that's just bilateral. I'm not that stupid. I'm stupid, but I'm not that stupid. I saw a big word and I freaked out. It's just bilateral. I can say that. That's a word I know, guys. Wait. Are they saying that her pupils are really big? guys, I have bad news about what that means. Listen, I wasn't there for Golden Rose Theater, so I may not know the whole lore, but I know enough of it to know that big eyes, not a good thing when DM's involved. So, we'll tuck that one in. We'll tuck that one on the back burner. The report data matches with ZINAIDA'S death, so it's probably ZINAIDA'S. Whoa! Why would DM give me this report? Did he choose to tell me about it in such a tactful manner because he suspects ZINAIDA'S death may be connected to someone here? DM's voice interrupts my thoughts. So what do you think, Mr. Inference? Does the setting of this novel interest you now? It's quite interesting indeed. I'm curious about your opinion on it. People disguise themselves due to hidden motives and secrets, and a story itself is a form of a disguise. But even the best disguise isn't without its flaws. Don't you want to use this opportunity to observe everyone's actions and expressions to determine their character and motivations? I didn't intend to participate, but after looking through the report, DM's words brought me to realization, so I could only agree. He spreads a row of cards with character portraits on them. Everyone looks through the character cards on the table. The novel has a total of 10 characters. As everyone chooses their favorite characters according to their own preferences, Lady True seems to suddenly notice something. Wait, I think these character settings are vaguely connected to everyone. First, the most obvious is the Goodwin couple. They're a pair of husband and wife, while the Deva and the Asimar, I know the race, but I never figured out how to pronounce it. Asimir? I think it might be Asimir. Asimir? I don't know, they're like angel people. I promise I know D&D. Destinies are closely connected in the story. Isn't that just like the setting in the novel? Next is the pastor. The half-elf knight in the story is steadfast in his belief of a certain order. And you're a priest. Don't you believe in your god, too? Moving on to DM, the setting only states that it's a mysterious character who could bring together all the other characters. Perhaps not all of us who are attending today's funeral know each other, but DM, you know everyone. Doesn't this match up with the setting, too? As for Miss Succubus... Lady Chu slows down and frowns as she gazes at Succubus. She seems to be briefly caught in some memories. Rukia, the princess betrayed by her kingdom in the novel. It's just like your family. And she doesn't finish her sentence. Succubus turns to meet Lady Chu's gaze, and in the end, Lady Chu looks away. Lady Chu's discovery points out to us that these carefully prepared characters seem to be revealing ZINAIDA'S surprise. But why did she gather them here? Is it only to complete the novel? Since ZINAIDA has made the necessary arrangements, why don't we redistribute these characters as she wanted? Alright, that's the skin I got. That's crazy. Alright, Miss Goodwin plays the Divinissimo, a demigod. She and the guardian angel are an inseparable pair. These skins are so nice, for the record. And her husband, Mr. Goodwin, is playing the guardian angel. Under the orders of Asimo, the guardian angel's goodness is influenced by Asimo's kindness and integrity. Oh, I accidentally skipped it. Pastor, the priest, is playing the half-elf knight, who is ostracized by his family. In order to prove that he has the power of an elf even without the pure elven bloodline, he sets out alone to the destroyed world tree. Succubus is playing Lucina's ghost, a deceased princess with a tragic fate. Oh, I want this skin so bad. DM is the host of this game and will be playing a mysterious character. Now I must trouble everyone else to choose from the remaining characters. Oh my god, what was his voice? It was like oddly deep. It was like, this character is rather interesting. I wouldn't mind delving into the mind of a rogue. Of course you would play a rogue. That checks so much. The paranormal detective is playing Tribin the Halfling, a cunning rogue. I like this character who seems quite modest. Sway is playing the tiefling who hides in the Nest Forest. He doesn't look like a kind character. Interesting. Tuberos is playing the Spectre Guard, the princess's former guard who became a specter. This is really on the nose. That's the point. A halfling, it looks like a cute race, so I choose her. Oh, that's actually really cute. She's got Shire vibes. I'm here for it. Lady Truth is playing Wezer, the halfling who lives in the once beautiful dust town that is now in a state of ruin after the disaster. Then only the I just mixed up all of my voices and my actual tongue just got like tied up. What the heck? Then only the protagonist remains. Me. And I will play the orphan born in a castle Umbra who sets out from home and embarks on an adventure to find the truth and inference. What happened while you were gone? Oh, hi, welcome, by the way. I don't know if I even said hi. I failed to voice every single character in this event. That's pretty much all you've missed. In the story, Runo continent has been destroyed, and the disaster of the past has let loose a plague upon the land. The Grand Scholar Oberus ordered me to travel to the temple and seek an oracle for the sake of this world. And so, an adventure begins. Alright. Oh! Okay, every class has its own base stats. The HP, MP, Strength, Intelligence, and Dexterity values are displayed here. Tap on the details to view class abilities and more. Mr. Inference has selected the Wizard's class. Tap to select Wizard and watch the story through his eyes. Now let's make some preparations before we start the journey. Tap on next. DM got Danny's voice and Pastor got emo Victorian voice. Yeah, pretty much. I channeled my inner, like, dying Victorian child for Andrew. It was pretty good. Alright. Every adventurer has the freedom to distribute their stats. The available points will be displayed here. Tap. Okay. I'm gonna real quick. Okay, no. I wasn't sure if the Animal Crossing music was over posting anything. Okay. So, okay, he has a pretty high base intelligence. I feel like... Well, how smart do you need to be? You got Joseph's skin? Oh my goodness, congrats. I got psychologist. I would love to get Joseph's skin. Well, okay. So, I know in like normal D&D you would want high intelligence as a wizard. But I don't know if that like actually correlates. I don't know if I'm gonna be like super weak. We'll go with it. We'll see. All right, okay, into the world. Okay, who's ready for D&D? I am Orion from Castle Umbra. Castle Umbra is situated in the glacial spine of the north to the north of the Runo continent. According to the Grand Scholar Oberus, I will read that differently every time I say it. The Castle Umbra is where the wisest of the Runo continent gathered long ago. It was like a lighthouse on the highest point of the glacier in the north, illuminating the continent with its light of wisdom. However, after the great battle, the flames of evil engulfed the continent, and a plague devastated the people's lives. The once glorious Castle Umbra became a deserted castle frozen in ice. Now it's an ancient titan forgotten by time, and while it still stands on glacial spine, it will faithfully protect its former glory and dignity. I was raised by this Grand Scholar Obrius, and I grew up listening to his stories of the continent and the horrific battles. I gradually became a trainee scholar of Castle Umbra, and I think I will become someone like Oberus soon. Until the day Oberus knocked on my door. Hi, Oberus. You're an adult now, Orion. It's time I let you go. Me. Oberus hands me a pouch of coins. Sweet, free money. D&D is cool, to be honest, so hopefully this event is fun. Oh, I absolutely agree. This is probably my favorite theming they've done for an anniversary so far. Where must I go, Oberus? Do you remember the Temple of Hecate? Yeah, sure. I once told you about... I know that's like an actual god's name, but listen. I don't know how to pronounce anything. The Temple of Hecate, it is situated in the northwest of Runo continent. Legend has it that it was built by an elven mage with the gift of prophecy to protect the peace and the continent in the name of Hecate. Hecate? Sure. The elven mage met Hecate on the three-forked road leading to the underworld, and it was Hecate's torch that guided him to the correct path. It might be Hecate. We'll go with Hecate. And saved him from falling into hell. I ordered you to travel to the Temple of Hecate, seek an oracle for the temple built by the elven mages, and bless this continent. I do not know why the Grand Scholar would order me to do this all of a sudden, but before I can even answer him, he lets out a long sigh and locks himself in the study again. Bye! Although I grew up in Castle Umbra, I could travel through time between the pages of the books there. That's a insane thing to just drop that you're a time traveler. I have never truly stepped foot on the continent. I've never touched a tropical Morgan grass or climbed a dragonheart tree. The sun covers the snowy mountain in a hue of gold, and the dazzling light pulls me from my worried thoughts. I shake the pouch of coins and decide to hit the road. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Sorry, I'm so sorry y'all had to be subjected to that. Listen, I'm very tired right now. I did not think this would go on this long. I thought I would be playing matches by now. Let's take a look at the Shadow Castle. Tap on the building to enter each area. Every choice you make from now on will affect the adventure's development. Please choose wisely. Ooh. Is it actually like choose your own adventure? Like, could this be like really unique to me? Or is it like there's like a nice option and a mean option, and if you pick the mean option, it just sets you back and is like, pick the nice one this time. Everything about this journey is uncertain. I rummaged through my backpack and yet failed to find a suitable weapon. Even a dagger would have been nice. I have no choice but to go to the butcher in the backyard, Sanguine. Maybe I can purchase a sharp blade from him. Look at your arms, boy. I can hardly believe you've grown so much. I heard the Grand Scholar has assigned you a dangerous task. It's time for you to take on some responsibilities. Sanguine chops a leg bone. I thought it said Sanguine chops my leg for a second. I was like, hello. Sanguine chops a leg bone in two with ease as he speaks. Sanguine, can I borrow that knife of yours? You know, the one you use for, like, your career? Okay, I'm glad y'all burst into song. I do it frequently. I get copyright striked for that. No, they don't. What's the saying? If it's copyrighted, it's canon. Creative Commons, Creative Commons. This knife, it isn't something you could take for free. Unless you help me with something, then I'll consider giving it to you. Oh, fetch quest. All right. MacGuffin. Oh, steal it. The temptation I have to steal it is so unfathomably strong, but at the same time I don't want to mess this up, so we'll help. Bring me a wolf from the backyard. Take care not to damage its hide. Are they already dead? Oh, we got like RPG elements. All right. Oh, I didn't click to do that or anything. Oh, it's just like auto. Oh, it's like it's one of those like idle RPG things. Boo. Boo, I wanted to select it. Let me click things. Don't just do it for me. I got so excited, and for what? After bringing the wolf back, Sanguine hands me his treasured knife. You're all grown up now, kid. I hope the Sanguine blade will bring you good luck. Choices, roles, and battles may bring chance to your character. Please advance bravely. I normally see it like, please advance with caution. I've never seen it like advance bravely and without fear. Okay. Ooh, arcane, they were really like, we can't call it magic missile. That's like copyrighted by Wizards of the Coast, but we can call it arcane missile. It'd be fun if it was turn-based. That's what I was thinking. I thought it would be really fun. but whatever. Alright, to the Forest Labyrinth. After leaving Castle Umbra, I arrive at Nest Forest. Nest Forest is situated at the foot of the glacial spine. According to A History of Rhino Continent Volume 1, this forest was once peaceful before the scourge of Basilrath? Listen, high fantasy and stuff is like my favorite genre, but I'm not gonna pretend I know how to pronounce any high fantasy names. So, and it was inhabited by the elves hiding in the depths. Yet now the only terrifying aura of death remains here. The desolation and silence devour my existing sense of direction. Darkness gradually envelops the forest labyrinth. Countless shadows tear through the sky, accompanied by shrill cries that seem to come from behind the gates of hell itself. They circle the sky without restraint. This should be a labyrinth. It almost is like it's called that and looks like a labyrinth. The stems and roots of the demonic vines are incredibly tough and can even withstand sharp weapons like axes. Well, I don't get much of a choice here. I guess I have to try. Oh, there's actual dice rolls. That's so fun. Okay, cool. Oh, wow, I barely made that. That really was a passing roll of 1. The sanguine blade is extremely sharp and slices through the coiling vines with ease. Sorry, I was trying to avoid it. I gotta take a sip of water. I've been talking way too much. I was trying to avoid it, but I'm getting really stuffy with all of the nasally voices I'm doing, and I had to take a drink of water right there. Alright, cool, we chopped it. Sword dance? Like the move from Pokemon? How exciting. I feel like I'm moving like way too fast. I feel like these are things that should unlock day by day. This is such an like a lot of content in one day. Are those will-o'-the-wisp? According to A History of Rhino Continent races, the wisps and elves are closely related. They're like... Oh my goodness, sorry. I'm really stuffy. Hold on. I'm gonna mute my mic for a second. I gotta blow my nose. My goodness. Okay, the nasally voices really got to me. They are the light that the elves use to guide travelers to forest and wilderness, and the elves play the role of guardian and creator to the wisps. But there are evil elves who use the wisps to deceive and attack humans. I'm unable to determine if it is friend or foe, but I have no choice but to follow my heart and travel in the flickering wisp direction. With caution. It's like that scene in Brave. In hit animated classic Brave. I noticed a silhouette not too far away. The figure is lying flat and motionlessly on the ground, with demonic veins wrapped around his ankles. Who goes there? The person wearily raises his sword at me. However, as he struggles, the demonic vines tighten their grip on him. I notice the ears of an elf hidden behind his blonde hair. You're an elf? He does not put down his sword and tightens his grip on the hilt instead. In a display of friendliness, I help him chop off the vines. Thank you. I apologize for before. Are you from Castle Umbra? How did you know? You're wearing a scholar's braid necklace. I'm Orion from Castle Umbra. Could you tell me if you're an elf? You've seen through my identity. Even though I have the same ears as them, strictly speaking, I am not one of them. Can you still walk? The well-known trait of elves is that they can walk. He finally relaxes and nods to me. I have no choice but to support him as we leave this place. We're building our party. I wasn't able to ask earlier, but what is your name? I'm Erwin, a knight. Of course you'd be named some shit like Erwin. I hope you don't mind me asking, but did you say that you aren't an elf? Yes, I'm a half-elf. It's funny because I look like an elf to humans, but I look like a human to elves. Hi, Erwin. You're my first friend on this continent. I'm very lonely. Perhaps my kindness loosened his tongue. We kissed! That's not what that means. This is a Nest Forest, a sacred land of elves. The ancient guardian dragon created the world tree to protect the elves and bless the continent. Beneath its roots are the... I'm not even gonna try. An underground river nourishing the world tree. I can't. I don't know. Stop saying it. In all language, that word means boiling cauldron. It's an everlasting spring that has existed since ancient times. I look along his gaze. They should release actual chibis of these characters. They make a lot of merch, but it's never of like the actual in-game content, because like it's all like, okay, I think they should make more merch they should make more in-game content based on merch and more merch based on in-game content. That took way too long for me to deliver that line. Whatever. The thing, what are those, so clearly I really like fantasy stuff, if you can't tell by my excitement for this event, but they had like, what was it, like dark fairy tales or dark wonderland or something, and they had like the acrylic stands, and I'm actually in love with all of those skins. If they put those in the game, I would buy almost every single one of them. I'm not even kidding. They were some of the most gorgeous, like, merch only skins that I've ever seen, and I mourn to this day. Anyways, I'm still so stuffy. I look along his gaze. At the border between Nest Forest and the glacial spine, the world tree stands listlessly above the clouds. I've been streaming for almost an hour and a half, and we still haven't finished this. In the land of chaos, which is full of danger and the unknown, is not too far from it. During the scourge of Basilrath, in the year of 138, Basilrath corrupted the guardian dragon and ate away at the roots of the world tree. The once luxuriant world tree withered day by day until the day its roots were completely eaten away. I'm rhyming now. The objective of my journey is to get there. The world tree is close to the land of chaos. Your legs are being corroded by the demonic vines, and you'll never reach your destination without getting the toxin out. He releases my hand with slight displeasure. That's my problem. I was just reminding you. He looks at his swelling ankle and frowns. I'm not one to take advantage of others, so, Orion of Castle Umbra, shall we make a deal? I could tell you how to escape the labyrinth, but you must help me. How? He carefully pulls out a vial from behind him. The tiny vial looks absolutely ordinary at first glance. But as he speaks, the incantation's special energy emerges from the tip of his finger. It's the accessory! As his fingertip rubs against it, the dark vial shines brilliantly, and the liquid within it emits a strange glow. It's like a sea of stars in the palm of his hand. Meanwhile, dark creatures circling the sky are dispersed by the divine light. It's known that as the world tree's blessing. It's from Hervgelmir. There, I tried it. I would love that. No, I want to get big enough in the Identity 5 space. This is like a random tangent, but my goal of being like an Identity 5 content creator is to get to host Call of the Abyss, like in AEU tournaments. Like to get to be one of the hosts, so everybody can bully me in the YouTube live chat, because those people are brutal. I don't know why just talking about starting petitions reminded me of that, because I'm like, guys, we have to petition to get me to host Call of the Abyss, because I'll be like saying like completely inaccurate things. I'll be like, they shouldn't have used entomologists, don't they know entomologist is weak? And it's like, everyone's like, what are you talking about? That's not even right. And they're like, Indra's voice is so annoying. She's not even funny. I think it would be great. I think we should get me to host one of the Call of the Abyss tournaments. Just for NAEU. Like, I don't need to go further than that. But just like, I'm the world's worst host. My cat's making noise in the background. Like, it's just awful. My computer crashes mid-tournament. Like, it would be fantastic, I think. Anyways, that rots beneath the world tree. I host it all in the really bad Victorian British boy accent. And it contains the... As we see here, the prisoner is now kiting. Oh, but it looks like they didn't vault that fast enough and they got terror shock. And it contains the pure energy of the world tree. We're never gonna get through this. It's but an ordinary item in the hands of others, but in my hands it can give me strength and new life. So can you bring it to the world tree for me? Okay, you guys start the petition for me, thank you. All 4 people watching, one of which is probably myself on my phone. So all 3 people watching, we gotta do it, guys. I'm not gonna be mean to this sad Victorian child. I agree. Erwin holds up a strange item by his waist and opens up the way ahead. Small artifact of his arouses my curiosity. Do all elves possess such a fascinating artifacts? As I've already said, the world tree's blessing is useless to others, and only elves can use it. You misunderstood me. I'm not referring to the world tree's blessing, but that thing in your hand. Oh, this? The starlight bottle? It's just a tool that lights the way. Okay, I guess we're taking it. I want your bottle. Give it to me right now. Ooh, I can try again. I mean, I kind of do want the bottle now. I wasn't thinking about that before it was, like, forced upon me, but now I'm like... well, damn, I do want the bottle a little bit. You can't show me a shiny thing and expect me not to want to try. Okay, I'll do one more. Give me your bottle. I'm taking it. It's mine. It's mine. I'm taking your bottle from you. I'll never get lost in the continent with it by my side. Just be frank. This journey is a dangerous one. If I have to light it up the way, then perhaps you want to have it, right? Unexpectedly, Erwin gives it to me without a second thought. It seems like the starlight bottle is the most ordinary of items to him. Then why did it take us 17 to convince him? If it's so ordinary. I hope it is really of use to you from now on. Thanks, Erwin. You're a real one. We're just going straight to the world tree, huh? We are never gonna get out of here. That bottle could have a curse or something. Good, I'll drink it. I'll drink the starlight liquid. I will guzzle it right now. I think we should just start a bunch of really dumb Identity 5 based petitions. What's like the worst things we could petition for in this game? Oh, I think, okay. I'm trying to think of like awful petitions for this game. More Echoes only content. What's not to love, guys? I don't know about you guys, but honestly, all I want to see in this game is more Echoes only content. Oh, hola! I don't speak Spanish. I failed Spanish twice. I think, no, only once. So I apologize. I do not speak Spanish. No habla español. It's a beautiful language, but I am not very good at it. Thank you for joining the stream, though. Do we want to go to the world tree? Yes, we should petition that. I think Netties would listen. Finally, we made our way to the Nest Forest, but the joy only lasted for a moment. We found ourselves at the burning border of desolation upon emerging from the forest. You're not English? It's okay. I mean, honestly, I should learn more languages. It's more on me than you. I tried, I don't have a language brain. I don't understand languages. I think all languages are super cool and super beautiful. But I cannot speak them. I tried to learn German. I definitely can't speak it, but I can kind of read it a little. You use echoes to get characters and you'll get cosmetics along the way. I think the only time I used echoes for a character was a lantern deal. I'll just farm for him. I think the only other, I would do echoes for a character, maybe if I made a Smurf account and I just wanted like Postman super quick or something, but I'd rather get cosmetics because I can wait for the character. I'd rather get the cosmetic and then get the character later than vice versa. But that's because I like shiny things. If you're more here to actually like play the characters, then that's valid. I'm just like, I want to look cute. Anyways, yeah, the burning border of desolation or whatever. We're never gonna get through this. Beware the crooked tree stumps and the foul-smelling liquid flowing by our feet. The slightest mistake would make us fall into the liquid. It is not the ground, but a swamp. Oh no, quicksand! Watch out for swamp monsters here. You'll never get out once you fall in. A strong ray of light stabs my eyes. And only then do I realize we've arrived in the vicinity of the world tree. Behind it is 3 mountains, and the tree itself is like the 4th, as the wind blows. The withered leaves fall to the ground and rumble like a fallen giant crashing to the ground. The deep grooves in its body attest to the fierce battle in the year 138. I read many poems on it, and oh wait, I've stopped doing my voice. Castle Umbra, but I still feel moved as I stand before the world tree. Stay where you are! A powerful force pushes me away. It feels like a giant has stomped on my chest. This barrier bears traces of elven magic, but it's slightly different. Oh no, oh nope, the stream's fine. Have you seen Doctor's upcoming bamboo skin? It looks beautiful. Yes, it's absolutely gorgeous. If I played her more, I would probably get it. But I'm trying really, really hard not to spend echoes right now. And the only thing, if I was gonna spend echoes, because I guess I did just get like a 30 or 40% off coupon, because I think everybody got that for the anniversary. If I was going to spend anything, it would be on Mary's once, because oh my goodness, she's gorgeous. Not to say Doctor is not gorgeous too. They have not been missing with their skins recently. All of them have looked super, super nice. I think both of them are really, really good, really nice. But it's slightly different. I think it was built by the locals of Glacial Spine. Are they nearby? Legend has it that they are elves too, and they have been living here long before the ancestors stepped foot on Runo continent. That's what the legend says, but I haven't actually seen them. So, they say they have tall figures. Or some say they have tall figures, attractive visages, and pointed elf-like ears. It's also said that they are short as dwarves, but their stout physiques are exceptionally agile. Another gust of wind assaults us. I'm forced to hug myself while strange yet sorrowful howling is coming from afar, adding a layer of eeriness to this ethereal land. A ray of emerald light flashes from the invisible barrier, and the howling sounds once more. It's deafening even when I'm covering my ears tight. I'm almost at my limit, yet I notice Aaron is as calm as ever. Aaron? Erwin. Upon noticing the pain I was experiencing, he casually plucked leaves and crushed them into a strange shape before covering my ears with them, immediately isolating the sound. Finally, some peace and quiet. I swear these skins that have been released lately are S tier, even if they aren't really. They've been putting out a lot of nice ones. Between the crossover that is ending with all of the... I know some people are like, oh, furry skins or whatever. I really don't think so. They're just animal-eared people, which personally I really like as a design trait. Call me a furry if you will. I'm not. There's a blatant difference. I'm not gonna get into furry politics, but I swear there's a difference. I love those skins. They all look great. I only got a few of them, only my absolute favorites, but they all were really cool. And they didn't miss with that crossover. That was fantastic all around. And then the once skins have been looking great. Mary's once is gorgeous. I love her dress. I mean, all the recent crossovers have looked good. Like on model, looking like the characters that they're supposed to look like. Everything's just been really nice with the cosmetics. The only thing, again, is that a lot of it's been very echoes heavy, but outside of that, they've been going strong. I read that as Mitski, and I was like, what are we talking about? I thought he was just going off on like a Mitski tangent. Nobody. Like, wait, hold on. I don't even listen to Mitski. Crucify me. I really don't. I don't know that much. But like, I swear that said Mitski. I was like, what? Why do you weep? I love cosmetics, but to be honest, my wallet is running dry. Me too. They ruined me because they did Composer's S tier, which I got, followed by Bunga Dogs, which I got everything except Akutagawa in. And then they did the, I don't actually know what it's called, as in I don't know how to, like, I can visualize the words of how it's, I always want to say Katme Moon, but it's not that. It's like, Kata, it's something different, but the one with the animal people, then they did that was great, and then they were like, Angels of Death! And I was like, ugh. And I was like, okay, but it'll be fine because I just want one skin from that. But then I ended up getting every single skin from that. I can't spend any more money right now. Now you gotta listen to Mitski. She's great. I know a lot of people like her music, and I think it's really good, but it's too a lot of it's too like slow and sad. Not to say it's bad, it's just like not something that I could listen to like on loop. I listen to, my favorite musical artist is Will Wood, if that tells you anything about me and like my music taste. I listen to Will Wood a lot. So it's called Kamari Moon. Okay, I keep mixing the T and the M, and I keep saying I keep calling it Katme Moon. It's not. I think it's Kamari. Yeah, I think you're right. I'm sorry about that. Oh, my man's speaking Elvish. I wait for the withering of the world tree. Erwin speaks to an invisible person. Although I cannot see the person, I sense the wind brought about by the person's quick footsteps. The person seems to be circling me. There's a person here. He is my friend. He helped me get here. I'll wait quietly. They'll have a conversation. He's an elf who lives here. Wait, is he explaining who the... Oh, he's explaining who the other person is. I was waiting quietly, so I was confused why he was talking to me again. He's an elf who lives here, and only those who have the blood of elves flowing through them can see him. I told him you're a friend of mine, so he won't harm you. Epic! Erwin removes the leaves of my ears and casually squeezes them into an even smaller form. Stuff them in your ears. Who are you gonna roll for? I just got here. I already rolled. I got psychologist skin. I would love to get photographers, but I can't afford to pay, and I'm saving my inspiration for Danganronpa just because it's probably not gonna come back again unless they do Ultra Despair Girls, and I already have nice skins for photographer, even though I really want this one, so I'd rather just see if I can try my luck with Danganronpa. But I did get psychologist skin rolling. I've been off on a tangent. We have not been progressing. With the tool created by Erwin, I finally understand their conversation. Erwin closes his eyes and whispers sincerely, I have brought the purest blessing. Helvergilmer, I'm gonna keep trying. Spring, I implore the world tree to give me strength and help me find my way. Yes, I did. I got psychologist. She's very pretty. I wanted to do matches with her, but we've been stuck here for like a zillion hours. It's been 2 hours almost, and it's been an hour 40 minutes, and we're still playing that story. Elven, oh wait, I don't know who this is. Elven Traveler, the world tree's strength is insufficient to help you awaken the Helvergilmer spring you hold. If it's guidance that you seek, return with the reborn blessing and the crystal ball which spoke the prophecy. The remaining leaves shall gather for you, and the world tree will show you the way. Another howl echoes as he finishes, and then the valley falls silent. Meanwhile, Erwin looks down dispiritedly. I thought that bringing it across the land to the world tree would be enough to fulfill my wish, but it was all for naught. What does he mean? I only have guesses in the first half. The unawakened blessing should be this vial I possess, but I do not know how to awaken its power. The second half is a mystery to me. What is the crystal ball which spoke the prophecy? Oh, hello, my cat's here now. Hi, baby. Hi, Ginger. You've interacted with us quite a few times this stream. I have no life, to be honest. No, I respect that. That's about how it was with Angels of Death. I spent quite a lot on that one. The thing is, I've said this before on other streams, but none of my, like, absolute favorite characters are in the Danganronpa crossover, so just because I don't have, like, any super high, super high interest, like, I would love to get someone, just, like, to have someone from the crossover, but none of my, like, absolute favorite characters are in it, because my favorite from the first game is Ishimaru, my favorite from the second game is Fuyuhiko, and my favorite from the third game is Kibo, and they didn't put any of those in the crossover, so, yeah. I should title the stream, reading the D&D storyline. Yeah, I'm gonna probably roll on 2. I'm either gonna roll on 1 or 2 with my inspirations. I really don't have that much, but... His eyes gradually dim down as he gazes at the world tree before him. It feels like I can see the torch within his heart being extinguished, so I decide. It seems we have no choice but to head back. You aren't fully recovered yet, so what do you think about looking for someplace safe before deciding on our next move? He nods. We decided to return to Nest Forest. As we depart, the gust of wind... I wanted Kibo so bad, but he's not gonna feature. Yep. I was like, I'm actually kind of glad about it in like a messed up way because I did not want to have to pay for him, and he was the only thing that would have caused me to actually spend money on the third essence. So I'm kind of grateful. I got an A tier very early as well. Anyways, as we depart, a gust of wind makes the world tree rumble again. I notice the dejection on Erwin's face, and at this moment I realize that this journey is far from being as smooth as I expected, and this is but the first hurdle on this journey of mine. Are we done? Are we finally done? Is it over? Yes! Okay. I think we're finally done. I say we continue our event. Okay, thanks for the help. I'll probably invest if I get the fragments. Yeah, I mean, I would say do it if there's not an A tier that you like more that you could get with an unlock. That would be that's how I would do it, but okay, so I'm gonna be frank. I don't remember the voices for like any of these characters. All right. We return to Nest Forest from the World Tree, and we finally find a place to rest nearby. Also wanting to wail for the Joseph skin. I've never played him either. Honestly, it's gorgeous. I love it. I would be very, very tempted if I were not needing very badly to stop spending money on this game. It should be a hunting cabin built by a halfling. The hunting cabin is only half our height. Okay, I do remember these two. Hopefully it's only these two talking, because I don't remember any of the other characters. The hunting cabin is only half of our height. A roof made of straw, and on the smaller round wooden arch is a knot pattern exclusive to the halflings. I knock on the door and discover it's open. Erwin and I exchange glances before crawling in. As soon as we enter, we see a dying fox nailed to the wall. That's sad. Erwin reaches out and closes its eyes. And it, finally at peace. The candles are still warm, so the owner must have just left. Before the end of my sentence, an arrow brushes by my ear and stabs the fox right in the heart. Whoa. And the sound it makes is like a warning to us. A short yet stout halfling kicks open the wooden door. You are not welcome here. Hello, we don't mean to disturb. We got lost and we're looking for a place to rest. I'm saving inspiration desperately for Danganronpa, as I want characters from the previous Danganronpa essences, which I can't get without it. Yeah, I'm saving my inspirations as well. I'm not sure. I've been going back and forth between which ones I want to pull on, because Kirigiri would probably be my top skin. But the thing is, after having Higuchi, which was a whole thing, because I had to pay to get Higuchi, because they did not want to give me her. And then I got Kathy, and then coordinators on the logic path. I have Upright Judgment, I have Susanna. I don't need another coordinator skin, even though Kirigiri is the one I'd most want. So I'm not sure about that, but I don't know if I really play any of the characters in the second one, even though I like a lot of those characters. And then in the third one, so okay, here's my thing with the third Danganronpa essence. I want Kikichi. Not because I want Kikichi, but because I want to make the people who want Kikichi mad. I think I've said this before, but I actually play Acrobat decently, and I think it would be so funny. Like, not to like troll, not to like play bad on purpose or anything, but like to troll by being good. Does that make sense? I actually feel like since you got lucky last stream with Psychologist skin, I got some luck since when I opened the Essence that had Opera Singer and Clerk's New skin, I got Clerk's New A tier. Oh, congratulations! Well, I'm glad. I didn't get anything from that one. Bro, the hate on the Danganronpa character announcements is depressing. Is it? I haven't seen the hate, so I'm not like on Twitter or anything. I don't go there. I'm going for number 2 as I really want Mikan, or Chiaki as I play the Doctor and Mechanic. So much it's unreal. I would say Mikan would definitely be one of the ones that I would want, but I don't really play Doc. I just don't play many of the characters. And if I do, I already have a skin that I like more for them. I want Mew from the 3rd Essence. I have a feeling that if I get any of them, that's the one I'm gonna get, and I don't know why. I think it's because that I already have a skin that I really, really like for Toy Merchant and probably won't ever take off, so they'll just give me one for a character that I'm not gonna change off of. It's like if they put a Prospector skin in there. Like, I'm always gonna be playing Chuya if I'm playing Prospector. Okay, sorry, I've gotten very distracted with chat. I appreciate y'all talking with me. It's awesome, I love talking with you guys, but I should probably keep playing D&D or we're never gonna get through this. Hello, we don't mean to disturb. We got lost and we're looking for a place to rest. He scans us up and down until he notices Erwin's injured ankle. Your leg is being corroded by the demonic vines. If it isn't treated by night, you'll lose it forever. Oh no. He stares warily at us while approaching aggressively. Is it worth it to completely wail on an essence? I would say it depends what essence. I mean, who needs a car? I don't drive, so I have anxiety. So, yeah, exactly. No, I would say it depends what essence. I would say if it's not going to come back, if you like every single skin and would be happy with all of them, I don't know. I think it depends. I think it depends. Your financial state. Are you in a place to spend that money? That's the most important one. Let me clarify. He stares warily at us while approaching aggressively. Erwin doesn't say a word throughout this, and out of the corner of my eye I could see that Erwin was already holding his weapon tight. The halfling hunter grabs a handful of herbs from the table and rubs them on Erwin's wound. It doesn't take long for the slimy herbs to make the wound lighten. It's only temporary relief. I don't think Danganronpa will come back again unless they do Ultra Despair Girls or they make a new Danganronpa game, God forbid. Probably not, no. Oh, thank you. You should not be in Nest Forest. Wraiths have taken over the forest. I recall the dark creatures that circled above us in the labyrinth. We are from Castle Umbra, and our destination is the Temple of Hecate. I still don't remember if I said that right. We have no choice but to pass through Nest Forest. Oberus asked you to travel to the Temple of Hecate. Do you know what that means? You must pass through Dust Town to reach the port, but the port has been abandoned for quite some time. It is anyone's guess what you might encounter on the way. After you cross the river, you will arrive at the capital, but that is not the glorious end you seek, but the beginning of darkness. The capital isn't what it used to be. No one has ever returned from it unscathed. If you are lucky enough to survive that, you must face the dragon that calls the dungeon ahead its home. Oh, we get to fight a dragon! Peak D&D. It is called Dungeons and Dragons, after all. Rumor has it that it hasn't smelled fresh meat in years. Uh-oh. Don't risk your life for this. Is there any other way? Look. He wets his big fairy finger in the wooden barrel, then draws a horizontal line on the table with a wave of his hand. I'm not even gonna pretend I know what that sentence means. This is Castle Umbra, and this is the Temple of Hecate. The shortest distance is from here to here, through the glacial spine. He starts laughing at this point. Ha 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 ha. Your name will go down in history if you can cross the glacial spine. But based on how thin and feeble both of you look, hey, let's not start calling people names, okay? It doesn't seem very likely. So is there no other way? You need training. Perhaps the Banshee of Nest can help you. Legend has it that she was a half-elf named Aline. Exiled by her family, she turned worship Bazorath during the Great Battle. Unfortunately, her half-elf bloodline made it impossible for her to become a wraith. In the end, she was forced to carve out her own heart and bury it in Nest Forest and live a life of wandering her grave like a ghost. I'm switching to my TV, so I can't talk and chat anymore, but I'll still be here, just have some things to do. Honestly, it's an honor that you would put me up on the big screen. I feel honored. That's amazing. Then was she a wraith or a half-elf in the end? She was neither. Her cries of anguish could summon foul creatures, make them submit to you, and clear the path for you until her song ends. Whoa. I can't talk. I inadvertently noticed Erwin frowning. He seems to be in deep thought about something. If it will be a help to you, I will lend you this halfling's axe. Oh, I want an axe? Oh, wait. Oh! Well, hold on. I'm keeping the bottle. I fought hard for that bottle, so we're getting rid of the blade, not the blade. It looks like that was a good idea. Oh, we're gonna see our tiefling friend that's not a tiefling, and I don't remember what voice I had for her because I started doing one and it was like a really weird accent that I couldn't go further with, so I don't know what I settled on. I walk in the direction of the graveyard the halfling hunter told me about. It seems more like a mass grave. The writing in the tombstones is barely legible, and the scattered bones and crows circling above remind me how ominous this place is. Looks like a real tree. Smoke mixed with the night fog circle around the exposed tree trunks. The heavy stench of rotting corpses slows us down, and it's accompanied by the pained groans of unknown creatures. Orion, look! We fail to locate the tombstone with Aline's name on it, but we stumble upon Princess Lucia's tombstone instead. Why would someone of her stature be buried in a terrible place like this? In the year 128, the beloved Princess Lucia was born in the kingdom. The king loved the princess so much that he held a feast for 7 days and 7 nights in the capital. A few years later, the second princess was born, and the king held an even grander feast to celebrate her birth. Lucia seems to slowly lose the love that once belonged to only her. Siblings, man, you know? What's up with this game and siblings? Twins, specifically. There's something there. They have a vendetta against twins, I think. However, the more a flower is protected, the easier it is to be destroyed. The young princess passed away to a terrible illness later on. Her sister's death did not bring Lucia more love, and the king's depression soon led to his passing. As for Lucia, her whereabouts are still unknown. Well, clearly she's in the graveyard. Clearly she's right here. She's dead. It seemed Lucia shared the same destiny as her sister. Suddenly, a shrill cry pierces the sky. We're rhyming again. We didn't even have the chance to see its face. It might be the Banshee. In my desperation, I grabbed the axe and swing it at the Banshee. It struck her tail. Her huge and warped body shrinks in an instant into something trembling on the ground. A tiefling? She reveals her true form out of overwhelming fear, and the axe merely grazes her calf. She immediately pounces forward upon catching sight of the axe. She gets a hold of the axe and points it at us. It would be really cool if we could see all this happening. A threatening touch of ice crystal grazes my skin. You're not halfling, so why do you have a halfling's axe? A halfling hunter gave this to us, and he suggested we seek out the Banshee here. She sniffs us carefully like we're her prey. Alright. Or perhaps it's her unique way of judging the goodness in people. Why are you looking for the Banshee? We need the Banshee's voice to help us get to the capital. Humph, another group of weasels coveted the treasure of the capital. You know nothing about the Banshee's powers. You're getting in way over your heads. You misunderstood. We do not seek treasures on this journey. Not jury. We're not doing a trial right now. Maybe later. We only seek to travel through the capital and find an oracle from the Temple of Hecate. She slowly lets go of the axe. An oracle? I'm from Castle Umbra. The Grand Scholar has ordered me to obtain an oracle from the Temple of Hecate to bless the world. How do I know you're telling the truth? Anyone connected to halflings is untrustworthy. She unfurls her palm and swings her sharp claws at my throat. Please don't do that. Wait, this is a misunderstanding. We have nothing to do with halflings. Attempt to convince the tiefling and obtain her trust. Hey! Get convinced. We were lost and injured in Nest Forest, and we stumbled upon the hunter's cabin and took refuge there. He lent us his axe. It's just an ordinary axe. It's axe body spray. Where are the awesome cutscenes they should have made for this D&D game? It would have been so cool if they made cutscenes for the story. Yeah, I don't even mind. They could have had these little like paper cutout guys that they have like in the corners for like the talk sprites and stuff. I think it would be cool if they just like animated them a little bit. I get it though. It's a visual novel. You visualize it. Hello, I just want to stop by and say hello. Hey G-Man, what's up? Welcome to the stream. I'm failing to voice act again, as I always do. It's just an ordinary axe used to cut through the brambles on the way. In order to win her trust, I immediately toss away the axe. No, I just got that axe! I need my weapon! What the heck? Once I finish speaking. Fine, I'll believe you for now. You seem to hate halflings. Our war with the halflings lasted half a century. Half because they're halflings. As far as they're concerned, we are barbaric civilization with the blood of demons. In the early days, they mastered the method of crafting with ice crystals, and so they started slaughtering us. They wanted to sell our blood to warlocks for coins. Now their race has fallen, and they are slaves to the trolls. They brought all this upon themselves. Well, I didn't want to get involved in some weird fantasy race war. I just wanted to save the world. So we were deceived by that hunter, and you were the Banshee he spoke of? The hunter you encountered probably lives in Dust Town. Dust Town is our next destination. At the end of our conversation, the tiefling once again conceals herself in smoke. We decide to return to the hunter's cabin and go straight towards Dust Town. We set out before dawn, and the tiefling's information made us worried about our next destination. What should I do on this journey towards the unknown? Only the howling of the eastern winds echoes in our ears. Okay, cool. I guess I leveled up, but I don't have a weapon anymore, so I guess they tricked me there. Is that Luca? Luca Balsa, the prisoner from Identity 5? Didn't I give him like a weirdly deep voice? With weariness in our hearts, we finally arrive at Dust Town. However, it is completely different from the tiefling's description. Please move faster, I can't read when it's not. I'll just wait till the rest of it's on there. It's almost nothing like it. The town seems so peaceful and harmonious. Seems like one of the few beautiful places on this continent. The lanterns with leaf patterns emit a warm glow that disperses our exhaustion from the long journey. As soon as we get to the town's entrance, we get a whiff of cheese and wild boar. Erwin and I exchange glances, and then we dash into the town. That was miserable. No, there's more! We arrive before the Squirrel Tavern at the center of the town. The tavern stands out among the low and cozy buildings around it, and it's impossible to say what kind of shape the tavern has. However, this doesn't stop the customers from enjoying their food here. Are we done? Okay. Wow, it's quite a lively place here. In the tavern built for halflings, there's a table of tall and burly giants. Their bodies bend forward, their hands flicking away the lamp that sways to their noses, and pitching bamboo cups that are smaller than their fingers, yet they seem to be really enjoying themselves. Oh, it's Tribben! Hit Identity 5 character Tribben the Halfling! You guys remember Tribben, right? Distinguished guest, my name is Tribben. What can I do for you? Do you have a room? Squirrel Tavern only serves food. If you wish to receive the Halfling Royal Guest Service, please visit IVN. I will provide you with my best service. Oh, the Royal Guest Service? His zeal surprises me. Distinguished guests, Halflings have always been known across the continent for their hospitality. Unlike some wench of a tiefling would have you know. Although our race has suffered some setbacks, most Halflings still remain the same. For a fee, you will receive our royal treatment that remains unchanging. He rubs his fingers, and I immediately understand what he wants. I quickly withdraw the pouch of coins given to me by the Grand Scholar. This guy's greedy. Tribben! We love Tribben! Best character. Tribben is the best character in Identity 5, honestly. Can we, I was gonna say can we get it trending, but I don't know on what, because, like, what would we get it trending on? Can we be like hashtag Tribben, justice for Tribben? Or something like that? I don't know. Everybody spam about how Tribben is cool in the chat or something. I don't know. Money is life, my friend. Oh wait, that's Mercenary's voice. Not Mercenary, Orion, sorry. They're different people. After that, he leads us through one winding path after the other. I can read. This is the IVN. I look forward to meeting you again. In an instant, the guy vanishes into the crowd. Tribben, no! Erwin stares suspiciously at a bag of murky substance hanging by the door. BAM! He suddenly punctures the pouch, and foul-smelling liquid gushes out from it. Do you think this is the treatment provided to royal guests? Who broke the bag of horse urine I hang by the door? It's my remedy against flies. I don't know what this voice is, but this is what we'll do. In global chat, please, guys. Guys, if you're playing Identity 5 right now, please, please, please just start spamming about Tribben in the chats. That would be so funny. A young girl walks out angrily with her hands on her waist. Sorry, we didn't mean to. May I know if... I feel like Erwin did, but whatever. May I know if this is the IVN? Nope, Dust Town doesn't have an N with that name. You've been scammed. Tribben, no! Tribben scammed us. What the heck? But I do provide accommodation here. Justice for Tribben, the coolest character in Identity 5, my favorite character. I will fight everyone who says otherwise. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Apple! Welcome to the stream, Apple. You missed Tribben, the best character in Identity 5. Oh my gosh, they're just scamming us. I feel like we're just getting scammed a lot right now. She rubs her fingers as a signal as well, and I consciously reach for my pouch. It's gone! It was that young man, Tribben! Tribben, how could you? We trusted you, Tribben. We loved you. What are you still standing here for? Finally, I find my empty pouch outside a circus in the town center. As soon as I enter, I see Tribben. Tribben! Tossing coins up the stage without care in the world. Those are my coins! Tribben! Stop right there! Can we fight him? Do we get to fight Tribben? That's all I want. He darts off and vanishes as soon as he sees me. I'm forced to search through the crowd until I notice a ladder resting against an invisible wall. What, are we playing a video game? It's D&D. Why is the wall invisible? And standing slanted in midair. Oh, it's a rogue's invisibility technique. They made the wall invisible? Okay. Pounce! Oh. I have to roll 20 for this. I don't think I want to, I think we'll You know what? Because I like Tribben, I'll let him get away with our money. Oh no! There's actual consequences. Oh no. I tripped and banged my... Oh, hello. The stream. Live chat went away for a second. I need Tribben lore. It's prisoner in D&D and he stole from us. And I'm upset. I tripped and banged my head against the ground, giving myself a bump on the forehead. Darn it! As I rubbed my forehead, I noticed a young halfling girl in a green dress looking at me from a corner. She beckons at me to go over. Is she gonna scam me too? Well, I leveled up for being bad, so, you know, whatever. Oh, it's Emma! Emma wouldn't scam us. Emma's a sweetheart. His name is Tribben, a despicable rogue, so you can forget about your money. I'm Wesser, and you're... That's the same voice I gave the other one. Wait, what did I give Emma? She was just like higher pitched what I was doing for Mercenary, right? Or, Inference, Orion, whatever. Scholar from Castle Umbra, right? How'd you know? It's all the same voice. It all just ends up at the same voice. I can't do voices. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what this event means. Me neither. She does not answer. If you pick the hostile options, you get more points. Yeah, but I'm going for like a nice run. I'm going for pacifist. That may change, but for now. I say that, but that very could change. I mean, you did give him the money, so whose fault is it? Orion's! I didn't say to give him the money. They just made me do it. I'm blaming Mercenary. Tribben is innocent. That's true. I agree. Your friend, the half-elf with the injured leg. Although the hunter applied some penistetum on it, it only provided temporary relief. He must be treated as soon as possible. Her words make me wary of her. Oh no, she's gonna scam us too. Have you been following us? Is that even necessary? You and your elf friend caught everyone's eyes as soon as you entered Dusttown, because you have a lot of money. We've been looking for... Wait, well, I'm mixing up all my voices now. There's too many characters in this event. Cut them out. I can't do this. We've been looking for a place to treat his injury. Can you help us? This shouldn't be for free, but it's fine. I'll help. Come with me. Stop taking my money. You halflings aren't as I expected. I heard halflings are ferocious. Ha ha ha, ferocious? I heard you're at war with the your war with the tiefling lasted half a century, and you slaughtered them just to sell their blood to warlocks. She stops walking, and her expression becomes quite serious. I cannot tell you that that's a lie, but the one who told you this didn't tell you the whole truth. So, you did, then. Not every halfling is like that. In fact, if it wasn't for the necromancer's bewitchment, the halflings wouldn't have been reduced to his tools of slaughter. Oh, so it's Joseph's fault. Okay, I believe it. The necromancer, is he the cause of the drastic change in the halfling's nature? Who is he? Back then, Basil Roth, I don't know who that is, destroyed the world tree, and the flames of evil engulfed the continent, and a new race was born, wraiths. They're the evilest beings in this world. The undead creatures from the burning borders of the continent like reapers, hunting those who go astray. The necromancer is their leader. So it's Joseph's fault, okay? The witch halflings fell under his command and started a slaughter. Now we're enslaved by the trolls. I think it's the price we pay for our sins. Dusttown is our last refuge. If you travel to the outskirts, you can see how the trolls treat my people. It's a scene I will never forget. Always blame JoJo. It really is. If it's truth and inference, it's Joseph's fault. She holds her tears back, and I can only watch helplessly as they suffer. It's not your fault. You didn't start the war. Or did you? The scourge of Basilroth is something we cannot change. Speaking of which, I'm on this journey for the same purpose. Travel to the Temple of not Hecate, that's different. Seek an oracle and bless the continent. She gazes at me with disbelief. By the way, how's my audio, guys? Am I like yelling into your ears? I very well could be. I never know. Sometimes I'm too loud and sometimes I'm too quiet. I don't think I've ever gotten a stream that's like correct. Excuse me, but you said the trolls are in control of the halflings in the outskirts, so why is it so peaceful and undisturbed here? She pauses for a moment. You'll find out soon enough. Bring your friend along and follow me. I bring Erwin along and follow her through the winding streets to a low and dilapidated farmhouse, and she opens the door to its basement. Never a good sign. I feel like we're gonna get trapped in here. I didn't expect this tiny farmhouse to be hiding an underground palace. Unlike the wooden structure above the ground, the entire underground structure is made of elegant stone pillars. I can only wonder how the halflings built this place. After traveling deeper into the underground palace, I noticed a woman standing nearby. Based on her dressing and the markings on her forehead, she should be... I still don't know how to say this word. I think it's Esamir, but I'm not sure. I promise I know D&D races. I just don't know how to say it. Esamir are the children of gods and humans, and the enforcer of the gods on the continent. Bro, why is Joseph always behind something? I don't know, cause Identity 5 said that he had to be. They possess the appearance of human women. I almost said of a human woman. And a Simir usually forms bonds with a Deva, and her goodness influences the Deva, but I do not see the Deva that is connected to a Simir. The Simir seems shocked to see me. What's wrong? I try getting an answer from Wezer, but she merely shakes her head in response. Cool. After that, the Simir makes a long series of complex and elaborate gestures that I could not understand because I couldn't see them because she wasn't on the screen, while chanting several incantations toward me. I think she likes me. Asimir, I guess. Meanwhile, it seems like something invisible pierces her body, yet it returns to normal once more. It's like something entered her. That's weird. In the end, she places her hands on my head and chants. What is she doing? Oh, there she is. I have her. I pulled her last stream. What was her voice? I think the same one that I used for, coordinator. The disaster of the past repeats itself, and the child of Bazaroth will eventually arrive. Followers rejoice and await to welcome their new master. She seems completely exhausted when she finishes and falls to the ground. I think she's a little weird. While waiting for the Esamir to awaken, Wezer says to me, "You asked me why Dusttown is left undisturbed. The Esamir is the answer to that question. I heard the Esamir is always with their Deva, but why do I only see the Esamir here? Remember what I told you about the halflings being bewitched by the necromancer? Besides that, those wraiths took the Deva. The Esamir isn't able to sense him anymore." This is like a Wattpad story. It kind of is. Oh no. It's like, and then they all started kissing. Young man from Castle Umbra, I need your help. The Esamir seems to have awakened while I was distracted. Her expression is like that of someone gazing upon misfortune. You shall receive the best treatment, and your friend shall receive divine healing, and I need your help. She walks over to Erwin, along with a few soft incantations. Light flows out of her palm, and Erwin's ankle is quickly healed. They fixed him. I know you're on your way to the Temple of Hecate to seek an oracle before the divine statue. I can't read. I would like to entrust you with this bottle of Asimar's Asimir's protection. Bring it to the altar in the temple and seek the power of the gods to make the Deva repent. Sure, there's room in my inventory since I had to throw out my weapon. I gaze at them, then look at Erwin, who is now completely healed. I wish he would talk more, because his voice is actually the most fun and consistent for me to do. In the end, I nod and accept the bottle. It's on the way for me. I hope the Deva will return to your side soon. The fastest way to the Temple of Hecate is via the waterways. However, the port of the capital has been abandoned since the scourge of Basilroth. The Esamir approaches me while her eyeballs move rapidly. Girl, you good? Young man from Castle Umbra, I see many dangers ahead of you. You must cross the waterways to the capital. There is more than one obstacle in your path. Your past, too, probably. A dragon occupies the dome, and you must locate the Dragon Slayer sword soon. Oh, we're getting the Master Sword! It's like, oh, we're gonna get the cool sword. Okay. Well, good thing there's room in my inventory, because I had to throw out my weapon. We're never gonna get to playing Andrew. During the war between the halflings and the trolls, someone sought the Dragon Slayer on the outskirts of town, but it was never seen again. Perhaps you can search for the scavengers camp on the outskirts. I can take you there. My injuries are healed, so I'll go with you too. Thanks, Erwin, you're a real one. Oh my goodness, there's actually more. I thought it would end there. This event is actually insane. Hi! Welcome to the stream. I don't know why I said hi so aggressively. I'm here, OMG, what did I miss? You missed Tribben, the best character in Identity 5. You missed us doing a lot of D&D stuff. I'm hoping this is the end. I don't want to fight a dragon tonight. We'll fight a dragon later. We bid farewell to the SMR and travel to the scavengers camp. I hate how the dialogue does it. Like, put it all on the screen so I can read it at once. We obtained the whereabouts of the Dragon Slayer through the story of a local bard. According to the clues in the story, the Dragon Slayer ended up in the possession of a halfling tavern owner. There's only one tavern in this camp, the Cremator Tavern. Bro, I love Tribben. Tribben's the best character. According to the story, there are 3 fragments that form the Dragon Slayer, but the poor halfling here clearly does not possess the ability to realize that. We noticed 3 fragments being displayed on the wall of the Cremator Tavern. They are combined to form a strange ornament that has become one of the tavern's distinguishing characteristics. The dragon from Shrek, please? Okay, I would actually go fight the dragon if it was the dragon from Shrek. We decided to try our luck. Okay, we gotta persuade the owner. The throw will be successful if it's larger than or equal to 1. You can't go lower than 1. They were like, you gotta get this sword, so we're just not even gonna make you try. Tribben is the next SS tier confirmed. Oh, please? I would finally pay $500 for a skin. I would finally do it. I actually would for Tribben. Forget Dazai on Prisoner. No. I want Tribben. I'm so sad I missed so much. I was at my martial art class. Well, the good thing about a stream is I leave them up so you can go back and rewatch what you missed later if you want. I said to use my persuasion to gain the owner's trust and sympathy. I'm just a poor boy who really needs your sword. Please give it to me. Okay, here you go. It's quite the ornament on your wall. Of course, that's an antique from half a century ago. It's very important to my family and I would be nothing without it. Would you like it? I heard the bard's story of the Dragon Slayer being lost on the outskirts of Dusttown. Have you ever seen it? He squints at me and seems suspicious. What are you trying to imply? The truth is we followed the bard's guidance and arrived here. We seek to reassemble the fragments and obtain the Dragon Slayer to help us deal with the dragon in the capital. Why are you going to the capital? That forsaken place is riddled with wraiths. I'm from Castle Umbra, and I'm traveling to the Temple of Hecate to seek an oracle to bless the continent and save the people. I've only said that a couple of times. The owner is very moved upon hearing our quest to bless the continent. I rolled a 1! I even noticed the flickering in his eyes, yet he doesn't show an inkling of intending to give us the fragments. Hey, I rolled a 19. You are legally obligated to give me your sword. So, can you lend those fragments to us? I probe the owner. I admire your quest, traveler. However, these fragments are the soul of this tavern. The Cremator Tavern is lost without them. I literally made that joke. You're kidding me. I literally said that as a joke, and then they actually put that in the game. I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. What a hypocrite. Erwin and I exchanged glances again. In the end, we seize the opportunity to take the fragments and flee with Erwin's help. When the owner goes to the kitchen. I didn't expect that. What a game. What a game. We put the fragments together according to the Bard story, and we obtained a rusty, I didn't read the other word, Dragon Slayer. Perfect! I'm still here! Wizard cannot help but cheer for us. But this is as far as I go. The port is further west. I must return to report everything to the Aasimar. Good luck! Okay, well I feel like I thought I threw out my axe. You guys lied to me. Okay, well I kind of need the sword. I think it'd be funny if they let me throw it out though. We'll throw it out. I fought for my bottle. I'm keeping my bottle. And all my stats went up, so whatever. No! Is there actually more? How long is this for? You should have asked Trippin for help. I should have. I think he would have helped us. Rob him? We did! I didn't have any say in that, but I guess we're playing the bad guys. We follow Wizard's guidance and arrive at the Dust Town's sealed port. They look like Cookie Run Kingdom characters. Oh my gosh, they kind of do. That's cute. I need to play Cookie Run again. I was really into it for a while, and then I just like forgot about it because I can't keep playing gacha games. Although Cookie Run's pretty forgiving. I've never spent a cent on it, but the fog obscures the buildings on the other side. We have no choice but to wait until night and sail beneath the moonlight. I move the oars carefully through the water's surface while frequently noticing dark creatures sleeping underwater. If I use a little more strength, I can only wonder how those creatures would end our lives. See that? We're almost at the other side. I can see the capital's outline. I guess we'll stop and go ashore. I've been given a lot of options here. Cool, I leveled up for clicking on a button. Are we gonna fight the we really are gonna fight the dragon today. Look at my stats. Oh cool, I got sword dance. Cookie Run ain't forgiven anymore? The super epics are so hard to get, you have to pay? What the heck? I remember it being like the most forgiving gacha game. That sucks. I do like Andrew's sprite very much. It's so cute. We'll play him after this finishes. We'll do some matches. We get off the boat. Erwin raises a starlight bottle. Hey, that's my starlight bottle. I stole it. The British accent. Oh yeah, it's fantastic. Erwin, oh no, it's my starlight bottle because I stole it. But the closer we get to the capital gates, the dimmer the light gets. It's like the dark mist just devouring the light. Can we just kill this dragon already? As a shadow charges at us and knocks down the starlight bottle, we catch a sight of the monster's face. It is a strange and terrifying head that has been corrupted by the wraiths. Alright, oh, is this not the dragon? I guess it's just a thing. I don't know, I can't do anything here, so we'll watch. Oh, I almost killed that thing in one shot. I'm goated. I'm cracked. I'm just that good. In the end, we achieved victory with great difficulty. Was it really difficult, though? But Erwin falls to the ground. Get up! The starlight bottle is in pieces on the ground. No! That's my starlight bottle. They ruined my starlight bottle. Why did my voice just like die all of a sudden? Too much voice acting, I guess. Let me drink water. Tribbin stole my voice and my money. The starlight bottle is in pieces on the ground. The dazzling liquid dries up on the ground like a bad omen. I can't go on, Orion. No, it's dangerous here. You can't stay here. I need like dramatic anime music over this. The Animal Crossing music doesn't cut it. Take the world's tree's blessing and continue forward. It will give you strength. What about you? He waves me off. Do not forget your quest. I need some time to catch a break. I'll catch up with you soon. Are you sure? Erwin mustered up his strength and hands me the World Tree's blessing. I notice brilliant blue light flickering within the bottle. I have no choice but to nod and accept the World Tree's blessing. After that, I leave with his expectations. I'll come back for you. Oh, I'm just gonna fight the dragon alone. Okay, thanks, Erwin. Erwin chickened out on me. Once I leave the capital, I arrive at a wilderness. Moonlight covers the ground, and I can faintly see the Temple of Hecate below the glacial spine. When it may be eerily quiet here, I do not feel fear anymore, because I'm just that cool. Ow, I hit my desk and it hurt. After the battle at the capital, exhaustion swept through me. I eventually have no choice but to look for a stump to get some rest on. In the middle of the night, I faintly feel something slide by my palm and stomach, and it jolts me awake. I notice a python with a triangular head flicking its tongue at a simiar's protection that hangs by my waist. Meanwhile, a crow keeps circling above me. This is so dramatic. Sign me up for voice acting. I'm not good at voice acting. I have 2 voices and I've exhausted them. I slay the python and decide to leave. Unexpectedly, as soon as I get up, the crow above dives down with black mist and takes a human form. The symbol on his forehead is identical to the symbol I saw in the Asimir. I immediately realize his identity. You're the Deva! Repent now! Becoming a wraith is not your end. A Simir awaits your return. However, the Deva refuses to heed my advice. Black flames engulf him like an evil force brewing within, and it summons a red dragon. I'll fight the red dragon. I'm not doing anything. It's automated, but you know, I will beat this dragon up. Look at me. I'm just that good. I eventually defeat the red dragon, and he seems to be completely exhausted. You were trying to steal Asimar's protection just now, right? She asked me to place it at the temple's altar and use the power of the gods to make you repent. He lets out a weak, painful groan. Ah, he's so goofy. Not me. How? Her. Who? The Asimir? I never ever betrayed her. I'm confused. I release him. This is not a divine potion, but a trap. Whose trap? The necromancer. Are you trying to say? He does not wait for me to finish speaking and pounces at the Asimir's protection. Wait! He uses all his strength to smash the bottle. Is it true that Luca is gonna get a once skin after Mary? I couldn't tell you when, but I remember that he was supposed to get a once skin a while back and it got pushed. So, probably at some point soon, I would think. I would hope. Unless it got pushed back again. He uses all of his strength to smash the bottle. Mist drifts out from it, and I notice a grin on his face within the mist. When I try to grab his hands again, he has already vanished within the mist. Why did he do that? Was he even willing to sacrifice himself to destroy Asimir's protection? And what is the trap he spoke of? As I gaze at the remaining fragments in the ground, I know that I have no way to find out. Unfortunately, I am unable to complete the Asimir's request. I stand up again and decide to continue on my journey. Who cares about that? We'll just keep going. Finally, I arrive at my destination, the Temple of Hecate. Are we done? Are we finally done? No. The opposing temple looks exceptionally cold. The statue of Hecate is right before my eyes. I notice a stoop of holy water before the statue. The water is clear and able to reflect my face. I gently touch the water, causing ripples to spread. Suddenly, a small shrine slowly emerges from the center of the altar. I take the shrine and open it to find a crystal ball. I stare at it closely and words begin to appear on it. It's like a magic 8-ball. He shakes it. He's like, can we save the world? It's like, no. Destiny is born from the curse of the past. The child of Bazelroth has arrived. Oh, it's me, isn't it? It's Orion. It's gotta be. Like, come on, guys. Come on. It's gotta be Orion. I'm bewildered by the oracle. Just as I'm about to put it back into the shrine, the crystal ball surges once more. A face appears in the crystal ball, and that person is... me? The Temple from Temple Run. Listen, if any Identity 5 character would be good at Temple Run, it would be Mercenary. I throw away the crystal ball in a panic and pick it up again after I compose myself. The child of Bazaroth has arrived? How is that connected to me? Buddy. I unconsciously turn the ball to its back, and I notice another face there. Erwin? The fallen dark elf with a mission will kneel before a new master. Oh. Okay. These two oracles terrifying me. Good translation, Netties. I take the crystal ball along and travel back with the capital with haste. Unfortunately, Erwin has already left. Where did he go? However, I have a quest and I must rush back to Castle Umbra and report back to the Grand Scholar. The crystal ball seems to have predicted my actions, and a portal opens before me. Oh, okay. Portal Ex Machina. I walked in and arrived at the foot of Castle Umbra. Alright, we're home. Strangely, the portal didn't bring me straight to Castle Umbra. Okay, we're not home. I noticed a guard's figure approaching from afar. I did Zach's voice because it's Jack. Are you Orion? I'm the scholar Orion from Castle Umbra. The princess orders you not to return to Castle Umbra. The princess? Princess Lucia. I used to serve Runo Kingdom and protect Princess Lucia. What if I insist on going back? You are no match for him. An ethereal voice comes from afar. A short while later, I am able to discern the person's face, but she isn't a real person. She seems like a ghost of the past. Lucia? Oh, there's too many characters. Oh my gosh, look how cute she is. Oh, I really like her sprite. I think they did really well with this one. She looks adorable. Orion, don't return to Castle Umbra. Why? She chuckles and speaks in a strange tone. The necromancer, he's been waiting for you. He has been waiting for his new master, the child of the evil god. No, I'm not the child of Bazaroth. I'm doubtful. The oracle has already told you the answer. No, I'm Orion, a scholar of Castle Umbra, a traveler of Runo Continent. I know who I am. Oh, lonely warrior, there is no other path for you to take. I really just don't have a voice for her. It has changed every single line. What about you? Isn't it the same for you? You will pay for your insolence. Unexpectedly, she stops the guard and gives me a wicked smile. Me? Yeah, oh, that's... I cannot keep these voices straight. Yes, I was devastated after my younger sister passed away, and my father's melancholia took him soon after. So how has destiny treated you? That's why I will never obey destiny. How arrogant of you. How do you know destiny didn't play a part in our meeting today? What are you trying to say? I was only released after the destruction of Asimir's protection. You were freed because the Deva smashed it open? How are you connected to the Deva? No, we aren't directly connected. After my father's passing, the capital gradually declined, and the necromancer used our family's last hope as a catalyst for our potion's refinement. The potion is the essence of the fallen souls of the kingdom, and once poured into the altar, it will bring the world to complete collapse. And that potion is called Asimir's protection. So that's why the Deva tried so desperately to destroy that potion, even though it meant eternal damnation. That sucks. The Asimir really did deceive me. He is not the one who fell the necromancer's bewitchment. Then it's the Asimir. Why did she do that? Because she befell the necromancer's enchantment or whatever. Not everyone still has hope for a world that is on the brink of collapse. Only by allowing this world to be completely destroyed will there be a chance for a new one. Alright, Pokemon Evil Team sounding. Pack it up, pack it up. We're not Team Galactic, okay? I feel like I should oppose her, because I feel like... I don't think destroying the world's a good plan, you know? I'm gonna oppose her. Is this merely your speculation about her, or is it your personal opinion? Ain't a fake as F. Yeah, yeah, exactly. What difference does it make? Not everyone is devoid as hope as you are. That isn't important. What is important is that you will eventually make your choice. I just did. I told you no. The portal behind Lucia opens once more. Her figure moves backwards slowly. Take it back now, y'all. One hop this time. Wait, I have one last question. Everybody clap your hands. You should do a Pokemon live stream sometime. That would be fun. You don't have to, though. So I would love to. The problem is I don't have like a capture card or anything, so I would have to like figure out what to do. I would love to play Pokemon Soul Silver on stream because that was my first ever game, and I would love to like replay it as like a stream thing. But I don't know if I'll ever get to that. We'll see. Maybe one day. I would definitely like to play Pokemon on stream one day. You mentioned that the Necromancer used the Kingdom's last hope. So, are you that last hope? No, I'm not. Then who is it? She does not answer me, and her voice grows increasingly ethereal. Lone Warrior, once you make your choice, the gates of destiny will be open for you. This is like a storytime podcast. Yeah. Except it's very, very low budget and very, very unprofessional and bad. She transforms into mist and vanishes. I see Castle Umbra standing not too far away, and it's as majestic as ever, but at this moment, I'm full of complicated emotions. Aren't we all? The Grand Scholar is waiting for me to report back. If I'm destined to face evil, I must do it with courage. I'm leveling up. That's all I ask. Oh, Joseph! Castle Umbra is empty, and the Grand Scholar is nowhere to be found. I see the crow circling above me once more. It's the unique mark of Wraiths. You've arrived at last, my master. The one other voice I remember, because it's the Danny voice. This is awful. That's an audio bite out there. Hate that. He raises his palms and lowers them slowly. Joseph, you're scaring me. Please stop. I don't like this anymore. Can we stop role-playing now? I've been waiting for the Crystal Ball's prophecy for far too long, and I finally sensed its power today. Anybody who wants to wail for this skin, just know that this is now canonically what he sounds like. I'm gonna put that out there. I'm saying that. I don't care what your interpretation is. I don't care what Nettie says. This is what this skin sounds like. The arrival of the child Basilrath. I knew we would reunite one day. It's a journey across planes. Come join us and create a new order. Let's feign flattery. I love that skin. Me too. I hope I just magically get it somehow. Wait, stop. I won't be able to play with that skin anymore because I'll just think of that. Well, you're welcome. What was that? Was it, it had to be on the stream that I did with G-Man. Speaking of which, bye G-Man. Where I was playing with the Danny skin because I have it, unfortunately. And I was just like doing really well for no reason. Okay, let's feign flattery. You're the Necromancer, right? I see you already know. Not only do I know about you, I have a deep impression of you. You're pretty cool. Oh, please do tell. What kind of rumors about me is spreading throughout the continent? It's a name that strikes fear from merely mentioning it, and what with numerous followers and believers. He looks satisfied. Suddenly JoJo Sims depleted. I have ruined Joseph for everybody. Listen, that's how it should be. But it's a name that is the source of all evil, and the believers who follow that name are victims of bewitchment. It is but a small price to pay to create a brave new world. What if, like, out of the, like, shadows, Tribin just, like, shows up and, like, stabs him and, like, and, like, is, like, the real hero, the real child of Basil Wrath or whatever. It's Tribin! Tribin's actually the necromancer. He's like, this phony was doing evil things. I'm actually the necromancer. It's like, oh, hi, Tribin. Their feelings and lives are of no concern before the arrival of the new order. This guy's making the Illuminati. He's... I'm afraid the new order you're awaiting will never come. Great necromancer, I'm sure you're very proud that you were able to bewitch a demigod and destroy the world tree, right? I lift the fragments of Asimir's protection. He gnashes his teeth and clenches his fist upon noticing the fragments, and a strand of dark blue light surges from his palm. You stubborn fool! Show me yourself, half-elf knight! Meet your friend! So many plot twists, yeah. Erwin? My ears were not deceiving me. The necromancer walks out from the darkness, holding a feeble Erwin with his hand. It is me. I told the necromancer about you. Erwin! No! This is why we should have trusted Tribin. Tribin wouldn't have betrayed me like this, Erwin. He looks different, as if he's an entirely different person. Okay, he's fake. He's not real, Erwin. He points at the world tree's blessing that still hangs by my waist. That's the reason I made you take it to the Temple of Hecate, and so I gained knowledge of the oracle. I'm unable to accept such an answer. So everything you did in Nest Forest was planned? He does not answer me directly. You must forgive me, Orion. I'm just a poor little Victorian boy looking for a slice of bread. Forgive me, sir. Forgive me, Orion. You have no right to say my name. Okay, I'm sorry. So you never sought to seek power from the world tree? You've trampled on my principles. That's such a good line. I should just start saying that. The moment I arrived before the world tree, I realized that the restored world was not the world I wanted. I once believed that the world tree could give me strength until I heard its revelation. Revelation? I can't read. Do you still remember it? Return with the blessing of reborn in the crystal ball, which spoke the prophecy. The accent is setting me. I'm glad you like it. The blessing is the Hevergelmer spring in my possession, and the prophecy in the crystal ball is you. He points a finger right at me. Hecate has revealed the oracle, and the child of Bezeroth has arrived. Does that mean even the world tree has chosen destruction as its ending? He suddenly lets out a laugh. There's a hint of self-loathing and pain within it. How was I only able to realize this now? This music is not at all fitting. I thought for a second the music stopped, so I went to check, but it was just going to a new song, and now I think this is a good track for this scene. The world tree gave us life, but death too is its gift. No one will ever know how far its roots truly run, and the choice I've made now is no different than following the guidance given to me by the world tree. No, you're wrong! Even though my face was shown in the crystal ball, I never gave destiny a chance. Because I know that even if my destiny was preordained, I'm not the child of Bezeroth. Everything you just said is no more than your own interpretation. That's your opinion, and I have my own opinion. Countless people have paid for this world that you have chosen. The friendly halflings were bewitched and started slaughtering the tiefling, so they were cursed and enslaved by the trolls. From the Trolls movie. Because singing killed my grandma, okay? Could you imagine if that was a line in this? The necromancer used the princess's soul to refine a potion to bewitch the Asimir. They are the price for this world you have chosen. Is this what you wish for? His icy cold gaze remains unaffected. He slowly retreats into the shadows so I can no longer see the light on him. Bye, Erwin. The necromancer suddenly soars into the air. He can fly. Destruction breeds creation. Unfortunately, the great plan was destroyed by you. Enough chatter. Show me what you've got. Oh, are we gonna fight him? I hope I just one-shot him. I'm doing so much damage. He's so puny. Why is he like the big bad and I'm like absolutely destroying him? What the heck? That's so lame. Victory is mine in the end, and Castle Umbra is in ruins. The necromancer's bulging eyes reflect his exhaustion. He no longer has the strength to summon another spirit. His hand starts to crack from the bottom. His destiny is at its end. He suddenly looks at Erwin. He uses the last bit of his strength to ignite a flame, and Erwin's figure is swiftly pulled over like a withered leaf. He is instantly sucked dry, and his empty body crashes to the ground. Erwin! The necromancer drained Erwin's body to preserve his own. I underestimated you, Orion. What a twist. This is insane. I do not let go of my weapon. I'm about to return to my plane of origin, and this world will return to you. As he speaks, he lets out an eerie laugh. But never forget that you are no innocent mortal. Basilroth's blood runs in your veins. When your birth is judged by the world, how will you convince them that misfortune will not befall them? When that happens, will you still believe that the conscience will definitely triumph over destiny? Ha 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 ha! What a pity! I won't be able to witness such a wonderful ending. The last crow circles above him. I realize that he is just buying time, and I refuse to give him a chance. I shoot the crow with a weapon. Along with the sound of its wings breaking, the crow falls from the sky and vanishes along with a dark glow. Don't worry, you'll never see it. Once I finish speaking, the ground where the necromancer once stood begins to collapse, and Castle Umbra crumples, leaving only an endless cloud of smoke behind. Cool. Are we done? I put down my weapon. I look through the ruins, yet fail to locate the Grand Scholar. But I find a manuscript belonging to him. I brush off the dust and dirt on it, and I discover the drawing of a crow within it. It is the symbol of the Wraiths, and below the crow is a young man. I discover that it wasn't the necromancer who had summoned the crow. It was me. Only then do I realize that the Grand Scholar may have foreseen this from the very beginning. Yet, he still chose to make me set out on that journey and chose my own destiny. The Grand Scholar's kind of a douchebag. Oh, cool, I can't skip. Well, I skipped all that one. And I have not forgotten what the necromancer said to me at the end. If I am the child of Basilroth, how should I face my true identity? And how will the people trust me? This decadent era has come to an end with the necromancer's death. But will the curse, corruption, injustice, and slavery of the past era return before the arrival of the new order? I still feel uneasy, but the distant world tree seems to give me an answer in silence. At the border between the mountain range and the land, the world tree shines once more, and its brilliance I have never seen before. Ending reach, showdown. Oh, I won. Let's view details. I got all my things. Cool. I guess that's it. Please don't tell me that I now have to go back and talk to all of the people in the manor, or not the funeral, because I really just want to play Gravekeeper. Purchase? What do you mean purchase? I'm intrigued. Oh, there's more. Of course, it's because I purchased. Nettie's gets me every time. Child of Shadow Castle, why do you refuse to give up? I'm ready. I will never bow down to you. Then show me your strength. Humph, I won't hold back. You have courage, but courage itself is often just foolishness. Okay, cool. The World Tree's blessing is required to challenge the necromancer. You view the remaining world's tree blessing and how to obtain more. Is it echoes? Please tell me it's echoes. View your server ranking and highest damage here. Oh, this is outstanding. Yeah. It's gameplay now. Oh, this is fun. Oh, cool. Okay. Well, I already got stuff. So, I win. How do you get more? Please tell me it's echoes. Oh, okay. Let's try it. Let's just do one for fun. Let's just see what happens. It would be really cool if I actually, could, like, control and pick what I do. I seem to be doing a lot of damage. Isn't this fun? Don't you guys enjoy this? Not be surviving on 1 hit point. That was fantastic. Alright, sure, confirm. I don't care. I don't want to retry it. That was great. Yay. Okay, I think we're finally done. Oh boy. Oh boy, look at all these goodies. How exciting. Okay. This was what popped up before, so thankfully I didn't skip it and delete it. The story of Orion's adventures through Runo Continent ends here. The characters and details of the story got me thinking. Oh wait, what's the... Hello? Oh, there we are. Okay. It lagged really weird and like would not go to the next thing. So what do you think, Mr. Inference? Have you found your answer? DM shuts the sketchbook and questions me in a provocative tone. I am here. Hello. Welcome to the stream. The story is full of intriguing details, and the plot and characters prove ZINAIDA is indeed someone who weaves her life and experience into her stories. For example, the halfling hunter hangs up a dead fox as decoration, and ZINAIDA would hang foxes in her room too. And it was to help her concentrate? Everyone chuckles lightheartedly. She was a free spirit. We know the good ones correspond to the Asimir, I remember that I didn't know how to say this. Asimir and Deva. But from the story, we learned that the Asimir was secretly working for the Necromancer, and there was an exchange of potions between them. So if we compare it with reality, are the good ones like the DM in any other way? What does the potion represent in real life? Probably poison, knowing these people. Lastly, we have the half-elf knight. The half-elf was the first to betray me. Why would ZINAIDA give the half-elf an ending like that? Miss Goodwin coughs. It's just a novel. Don't take it seriously. Of course, I'm just making guesses along the lines of the novel. Please don't mind me, Miss Goodwin. I just said that you're super fake and probably evil. Don't take anything bad by it. Suddenly, the strong winds blow open the window and the portrait above the fireplace thuds against the ground, accompanied by the crisp sound of glass shattering. All the lights flicker out and someone's dead. Pastor's gaze immediately shoots towards the fireplace. I curiously follow his gaze. Turns out that one of the tear catchers has fallen to the ground. A tear catcher used for mourning the dead is broken. This is a bad omen. Mr. Inference, look! Every time I've done truth, her voice has changed. I leaned closer and smelled a familiar chemical odor. It's very close in smell to the datura on the sketchbook. Obviously, it didn't contain tears. It must be extremely caustic to corrode the fabric with just that drop. Everyone cautiously takes a step back. A tear catcher that isn't filled with tears? Did someone swap them? For safety's sake, I put on a pair of gloves, cut off the piece of cloth, and place it in a vial I carry with me. 'Cause I just carry vials with me. I'm cool like that. There were 8 tear catchers from the memorial. Besides Lady Truth and I, those tear catchers should belong to everyone else present here. Pastor, were you the first to react just now? So is this yours? It isn't mine. gosh. I'm so excited. He's my favorite to voice. Oh, then whose is it? I don't know. He kisses the necklace on his chest and falls silent. Pastor's response is very short and his gaze is quite evasive. I'm skeptical about his answer. Lying's a sin! We'll pressure him! That tear catcher chattered at just the right time when I mentioned Necromancer's potion. That's not the voice. I don't know what's going on. Let's redo that one. Retake. That tear catcher shattered at just the right time when I mentioned the Necromancer's potion. The potion in the novel was shattered too. Dim intentionally walks over to ZINAIDA'S portrait. Why'd you give him that accent? Which one? All of them? Because I only have a couple of voices, and these are the ones that I can do to not very high success. Oh, ZINAIDA, all of this was destined, right? What are you trying to imply? If you haven't seen the prior streams, none of this is gonna make any sense. I'm sure people are just coming in and leaving because they didn't watch the other ones. Dim's display makes me feel more certain that there's something strange about the tear catcher, and there are still unsolved mysteries in the novel. I decided to gather more information from everyone. Alright, who are we gonna talk to? Our one and only option. Miss Goodwin, is this yours? The character voices are amazing. I'm glad you like them. No, it isn't my tear catcher. Who do you think it belongs to? Or did you see anything unusual earlier? She shakes her head and seems rather flustered. Such a coincidence makes me think that perhaps someone did so intentionally. It's very likely that someone will point their finger at me. Oh, what makes you say so? 'Cause you're guilty? Based on its smell, it should be some kind of drug, and it's very similar to the drug that I carry. 'Cause I just carry drugs on me. You want some? She removes a vial by her waist, opens it, and motions for me to smell it. Is this Datura? No, they are quite similar in smell, but you'll notice the difference if you smell it carefully. Here, get a big whiff! What drug is this? It's made from a special type of fern. This drug is of great significance to me, as it once helped our hospital get through a special period. You sound really suspicious right now, man. A special period. It was the outbreak. During the outbreak, all our attempts failed, and so we had no choice but to adopt leech therapy. That was also the source of the controversy. I'm sure you know what happened after that. ZINAIDA used it as material in her novel, and our hospital was enveloped in a scandal. But you managed to control the outbreak, right? Indeed, it was a coincidence. A special doctor visited our hospital and introduced us to the experimental drug. He suggested we stop using leech therapy and use his drug instead. Fortunately, it was the correct decision. The children's condition improved and the outbreak was brought under control. Oh, my cat's at my door. Classic Ginger entry. We can't have a stream without Ginger. Okay, let me let her in. Come on, baby. Somebody's gonna ask for a cat reveal again, I know it. I always get asked for a cat reveal. Maybe one day. I'll monetize it, really. I'll make it a big thing. Give me money! Look at my cat! Yeah? Hello, Winge. She's a sweetheart. She's gonna hang out with us. It's not really the same because I don't have a camera, so you guys can't see her, but she's here. She's hanging out. Just trust me, bro. If they really are the same drug, wouldn't those highly corrosive properties affect the children? Think of the children! Mr. Inference, there's nothing to worry about. This drug isn't corrosive. Hey, Ginger. She's here. Nothing will beat the stream that she got her claw stuck in my PC tower while I was mid-stream. Oh, she's not the brightest bulb. I love her, though. There were some short-term side effects from this drug. The children became very quiet. Quiet? What do you mean by quiet? Did they just die? Some drugs can cause drowsiness, but that may not necessarily be an adverse reaction. She answers me ambiguously. So could I ask what that special doctor was, or who, not what? I cannot avoid being reminded of ZINAIDA'S novel. The necromancer gave the potion to the Aasimar. I think it's DM. Was there such a relationship between Miss Goodwin and DM? But how did ZINAIDA find out? It's always DM. It's always his fault. Ginger, what are you doing? Stop. She avoids answering again. Hi, sorry I missed your last couple of streams. Oh, nothing I say in this one's gonna make any sense. I'm so sorry. They're still up if you want to rewatch them, but basically, we're just playing the anniversary event. It's kind of wild. She knows a lot about drugs. Yeah, I know. Elsa Goodwin, do you want to be my dealer? That question goes beyond the limits of my authority, but I do know very little about him. All I know is he hails from a mysterious family, and it seems that family is closely linked to a type of fern. That's all I can tell you, and it's all I know. After the scandal at the Children's Hospital, did you still maintain contact with ZINAIDA? Let me stress this again. We ceased all contact with her. All of us, we stopped talking to her. Her tone suddenly becomes firm. I don't know if she's getting impatient or trying to hide something. She pauses for a moment and returns to her neutral attitude from before. According to my knowledge, she had some other business to attend to. It was about her husband. The accident her husband was in? I didn't know what exactly happened at the time, so I was focused on getting through the scandal. And so I also missed the tragedy that occurred to her later on. Her tone gradually eases, and she gazes at ZINAIDA'S portrait. Miss Goodwin, may I ask which tear catcher is yours? She picks up a vial with a scalpel pattern on it. I almost just started using the mercenary voice for everyone. Is weed legal in the manor? I don't know, it's like the 1800s. Was weed legal in the 1800s? Okay, so many things were legal in the 1800s. They were probably doing things worse than weed. ZINAIDA was someone with her own ideals and principles. If I wasn't a doctor in the Children's Hospital at the center of the scandal and just an ordinary person, maybe I would have been on her side. Sometimes it's impossible to get the best of both worlds. You get the best of both worlds. I can't sing. I'm sorry. So, you feel regretful? Amid her long pause, I got the answer I wanted. Thank you for sharing. I don't remember what his voice was. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Hello, Mr. Goodwin. May I ask? Keep that thing away from me. I don't know. We'll go with it. He seems rather upset, and he only eases up once I put the vial away. I just want to know if this is your tear catcher. It isn't mine. Let me ask you a different question. Dang, you don't gotta get so offended. I was just asking about the tear catcher. Is the decision to treat the infection with that drug in the end, was it yours? I butchered that sentence. Am I on the drug? No. Then it was Miss Goodwin. Did you ever consider that it may pose a risk to the children? I don't know. You don't know? Or you didn't stop her? Why does Emil look like that? I don't know. I think he looks pretty dapper. They're given he's given Frankenstein a little bit. I kind of like it. I wish these were the skins in the game. Although, if you were here for my last stream, you know how much we love Tribin the Halfling so much. I found out that's like an actual skin. I was joking about it. I didn't realize that that's like a B tier in the essence. I'm saving my B tier unlock for Tribin the Halfling. And we're gonna do a Tribin stream or a Tribin video at some point because it's Tribin, the greatest character in 1985. I did not realize that was an actual skin. And we're gonna do Tribin content for sure at some point. If I don't pull him, I'm using my B tier unlock on it. She didn't do anything wrong. Her decision was right. It's obvious that he's very protective of her and will refuse to let anyone doubt her. But have you ever considered the risk your protection would bring to her? Risks, indeed. He glances at his wife with concern. Elsa Goodwin takes his hand and comforts him with a nod. Only then does he relax. The Eskin is shop, why must I be tempted? Oh, yeah, so, okay, so here's the thing. I wanted to do, like, trying out, Aeroplanus, but I don't have the clues for it, and I'm not gonna spend echoes, so we're not gonna play him yet. He'll be a later date. We may just, I don't know what we'll do after this. We'll see what the stream comes to after this finishes. Half the time this takes up like half of the stream, so we'll see. Mr. Inference, Isaac usually fully respects my decisions, so the hospital's management is my own personal choice and has nothing to do with him. If you wish to continue investigating the tear catchers, then I can tell you that this is Isaac's tear catcher. Both of ours have the same pattern on them. I noticed the vial in his grasp. It does have a scalpel pattern on it. Tribbin skin? Yes. I want it so badly. I'm absolutely using my B tier on it if I don't pull it. Tribbin's the greatest. I got Tribbin skin yesterday and thought of this. I'm gonna get the Tribbin skin. Tribbin is the greatest Identity 5 character. Alright, I had no ill intent. I hope you understand. Oh no. Speak of the devil. It's Tribbin! From the game we just played. It's your turn, paranormal detective. May I know if this is your vial? The shattered vial is obviously not mine. This is mine. He produces an empty vial. He didn't cry at all. He has no remorse. It's empty. Obviously, I'm not one for tears, and I don't know ZINAIDA. I'm just here to play Tribbin. I need a soundboard so I can do like a laugh track when I just say like stupid things. Or like cheering. Who do you think it belongs to? Mr. Inference, have you noticed the tear catcher was placed right below the portrait? If it was the wind that shook the portrait and broke the tear catcher, why do the others remain completely unharmed? Paranormal Detective's word makes me think. Mr. Inference is a really bad detective. I walk over to the portrait and I notice a broken cotton thread at the bottom of its back. Besides that, the other tear catchers are placed quite a distance from the edge of the fireplace, so they wouldn't be affected even if the portrait were to fall. Did someone deliberately tie the vial and portrait together? So when the portrait falls, the thread will break and the vial will fall? That's crazy. I continue searching along the back of the portrait. You know, you'd think a detective would notice that right away. I'm not trying to be like a Mr. Inference hater or anything, but I'm just saying he's not a very good detective. Sure enough, I notice a long thread going all the way up to the ceiling and extending to the window, and the window isn't locked. Whoa, that's crazy. I've realized that I've not been like checking my stream health at all. Hopefully it's streaming well and the sound is good and all that. I don't know. I was very frazzled when I started this stream. Looks like it was intentional, but why did the person go to such lengths? Have you discovered something new, Mr. Inference? Nothing special. Just, you know, the whole string contraption. I decided against alarming them and continue observing their reaction. Oh, good. Goody, DM. Mr. Inference, have you found out who it belongs to? Why do these people still hang out with DM? Why do you still go to events that DM also goes to? Have you not learned? I've ruled out the people I've asked so far. Everyone has a reason to pretend when their self-interest is at stake. They will never admit it themselves. He needs coffee, yeah. So is this your tear catcher? Jim glances at me with ridicule. Maybe you should ask the others. He refuses to answer me, so I must find a way to make him talk. I'll threaten him! But let me ask you a different question. Why did you show me ZINAIDA'S report before the game began? And you even did it so tactfully. Do you suspect someone here murdered ZINAIDA? You finally asked the right question, Mr. Inference. I don't know what kind of pressure the police... Oh, my cat jumped off the chair next to mine and it slammed into my desk. I'm sorry if that was loud on the mic. I don't know what kind of pressure the police were faced with to make them close the case so hastily by ruling it a suicide, but according to the report, her cause of death was a type of drug. Seen a lot of Tribbin in chat. Yes! Tribbin. That drug is one of the projects I gave up on researching, but let me be clear, it was only ordinary experimental research. I didn't want to, kill anyone. In the early stages of research, the structure of the drug remained unstable, and when consumed in large quantities, it may induce hallucinations and even kill the mice. Coincidentally, this drug is an almost identical smell to the deterrent that ZINAIDA often uses to increase her concentration. If the two aren't placed together without any marks, then they're very easy for ordinary people to mix up. I would never allow a failed experiment to enter the market, so ZINAIDA would have never had the chance to get her hands on it, unless someone with access to it gave it to ZINAIDA. Do you suspect... I can't talk. Do you suspect the people who handled the drug gave it to ZINAIDA? Mr. Inference, there's nothing to be surprised about. Ordinary people would never be able to gain access to it, but it's nothing surprising in medical trials. I supply raw materials to numerous pharmaceutical companies. Ah, this guy's a pharmacist! That explains a lot. And a drug like this is just one of them. So, even you don't know who handled the drugs that killed ZINAIDA. I trust your word. Only those closest to her know about her habits. You're one of the people close to ZINAIDA too. So, could it be you? What do you think? That's not a good way to respond if somebody's asking if you've killed someone. I would be like, I think I need a lawyer. His eyes narrow and he awaits my answer with this spurious grin on his face. I've never heard of that word, but I'm gonna start using it. And I provoke him. If the drug responsible for ZINAIDA'S death is your drug, then I'm afraid the situation won't look very good for you, DM. I can tell you right away that I didn't kill ZINAIDA, nor do I have any proof to say otherwise. He opens his palms and raises his hands as if telling me he's innocent. OMG, wait, there's more now? Yeah, so my thing was, I didn't actually know what was going to be in this update, and then I started playing and I didn't see any, notifications that there was more, and I got really scared because I had banked on there being more for tonight's stream, and then I tried to start it, and then I was like, oh, no, there's more, and then, I backed out, and I was scared, I maybe accidentally skipped the whole thing, but thankfully not. I don't know why there wasn't a notification that there was more on the game itself, at least not for me. So, I don't blame you for not knowing. Then allow me to tell you something else. The drug spilled on the ground here is the same failed drug from my research. Yeah, I had deduced that, thank you. Are you certain? I am. Did you do this on purpose? You're one malicious guy, honestly. Aren't you a famous detective? That's what I'm saying. You'll have to ask the vial for the answer. I just thought they added week 3 rewards. Yeah, I was nervous because I didn't think they would add more, but they did. Miss Succubus, may I know if this vial belongs to you? I don't remember the voice for, her. Unfortunately, this tear catcher isn't mine. I think it was something like that. I don't know. Unfortunately? Did you want to kill her? Has its presence not flustered everyone? Although it's very interesting, I'm sorry to say that it doesn't belong to me. Who do you think it belongs to? Why does it have to be the living people here? Are you of the same mind as DM? You think ZINAIDA arranged for the vial to break? Miss Succubus, this isn't a novel. Perhaps that's a reminder she left for you. This is her second reminder to you. That's kind of just turning into the voice I'm using for psychologist. Whatever, there's too many characters. May I know what her first reminder was? It was in the novel, of course. Princess Lucia showed herself when Orion was about to return to Castle Umbra, and warned him against doing so. I remember that scene. Is there a deeper meaning to it? It's more than just a reminder to you. It's a reminder to herself. A few years ago, ZINAIDA found my home while searching for creative material. At that time, she chose to live alone in order to escape her husband. Although she was far from the abuse, she was still in great pain. Pain doesn't just go away because the source of it has been cut off. It merely feels like it's alleviated. This made her seem quite interesting to me. Those are her private affairs, so how do you know about it? Did you think she was the only one taking inspiration from me? Unfortunately, interesting people and things never last long. I read that weird. I'm sorry. In the end, I realized that she was the same as everyone else. She had nothing new besides the usual stuff. So I asked her to leave. Perhaps leaving like that was no different than being kicked out and humiliated. It was humiliating? I cut all ties with her and refused to meet her again. She was boring, so I hated her. Honestly, kind of respect it. This went on until I received a letter from her 2 years ago. She said that those commendable and novel things have occurred once more. What kind of things? She shared the good news of her husband's death with me. Although she seemed devastated in the obituary. I'm so dumb right now. Although she seemed devastated in the obituary published in the papers, I know it was only done to maintain a good public image. She even told me that her husband's death may not be wholly an accident because she found a vial of drug while sorting through his belongings. A drug again? Does seem to be like the common thread. In the letter, she called the drug Delphi. Is it Delphi or Delphi? I heard it both ways. I normally say Delphi, but then I took a religions class, and there was like the Oracle of Delphi. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'll say Delphi. And it's made from a special fern. She surmised that Delphi I may have just said the other one that I said I wouldn't say. Look, I don't know, guys. I'm gonna switch. Just don't question it. I'm bad with language. Succubus is a girl boss? Yeah. She was like, you're boring. Get out. Oh, you're not in pain anymore? Get out of my house. This game is obsessed with drugs. It really is. Don't even get me started on how much I hate all the stupid things. They're not canon to me. The hunters are hallucinations. That's not real. Even if Identity 5 comes out and directly says all of the hunters are hallucinations, no, they're not. Not to me, they're not. That doesn't make any sense. Some of them are literal dead people. What? Like, what? No. Alright. Some of them are literal gods. Like, no. I'm so over it. Sorry. Responsible for her husband's death. Delphi? Or Delphi? I'm not sure. I recall the Easter egg I discovered in the crossword puzzle. The word made from the points of the intersection between the blocks was Delphi. Wait, you mentioned that this drug, Delphi, was made from a fern as well? Indeed. The drug used to cure the infection in the children's hospital was made from a fern as well. Is this a coincidence? She was certain of her judgment and was determined to search for clues on the drug. I tried to dissuade her in my reply. Why? At the end of the day, she didn't love her husband, so why bother investigating? She has nothing to prove to me anymore. I-95 inconsistent. Yeah, okay, so as I understand it, basically, I elect to ignore it. Okay, sorry, tangent, I will continue this story or we're gonna be stuck here forever. After all, they are still husband and wife from the perspective of most people. But she isn't most people. Did you keep in touch after that letter? Not at all. She was boring again, so I hated her. Time to play a new character. I'll be back in a bit. Have fun. Are you getting his S tier? Did you ever decide, Jimin? If you want to get Aeroplanist or Gravekeeper's S tier? She quietly takes one of the remaining tear catchers and holds it in her grasp. What a pity, such an interesting person is gone. You just called her boring. You were just like she was boring. The succubus falls into deep thought. Oh, good. Tuberos, did you drop this file? Of course not, this is mine. He gracefully raises a tear catcher and sniffs it at the tip of his nose. I'm not hydrated enough to do the Zach voice. Hold on. Can you smell that? I was invited by the Count to investigate the datura which Zinaida was so fond of using, and now my hand is covered in the smell of datura. Succubus is just like me. Hypocritical? Or hates boring people. It's impossible to conceal the smell. You can try smelling the vial if you don't believe me. The vial in her hand does smell of datura. It's something the other vials don't have. Her hand? Are we talking about this? Are we still talking about him? Alright. Bigender tuberose? Alright. Alright, thank you. I will be sure to use both of your pronouns. Unless I read that wrong. Alright, Sway. I don't think I ever decided on a voice for Sway. Yes, sir, a liar. I love it. Sway, does the shattered vial belong to you? She shakes her head. Or did you see anything? She shakes her head again. Mr. Inference, why do you insist on finding the owner of that vial? It seems like a designed accident, and the tear catcher is the connection between multiple cases. The drug that the Goodwins obtained from a doctor, the drug that Zinaida found while sorting through her husband's belongings, and the drug of DM's failed research. She's tuber is so true, that's what I'm saying. These 3 drugs linked to the infection in the children's hospital, the death of Zinaida's husband, and now Zinaida's death. And the link between these 3 incidents is Zinaida. I think someone broke that tear catcher on purpose, and it was probably meant as a distraction to confuse us. I'm gonna pursue that lead anyway. I intend to uncover the secrets behind all this. I don't know, I may have said this before on stream, but every once in a while I'll go look at my comments, like just in my analytics or like YouTube Studio or whatever, and I'll look at like all the comments on all the videos, and I don't know if you guys have never like owned a YouTube channel or like gotten comments or whatever, it'll show comments that were like flagged as like spam or like not appropriate, and then you can like select them. I actually need to go check again, because sometimes it'll flag things that are like completely not like bad at all, and sometimes they'll just be sitting for weeks and I'll approve them. I'll be like, sorry, I didn't see this. But sometimes it'll be like genuinely like things that are like inappropriate, like slurs or whatever, and I don't usually get those. I obviously don't comment slurs on my channel, guys, but the first time I ever got like a really bad comment that got like censored, I ended up deleting it, but it was on the first video I ever posted with my like what your identity 5 main says about you, and I got called the R slur because because of the line I said about Norton, and you probably want to steal his gender. Someone got mad at me for that and called me the R slur, and I was like, thanks. Yeah, obviously I deleted that, but it made me laugh because if it's not obvious with the jokes I've made, this channel is like a very safe space for like LGBTQ plus community, or at least I hope it is. I try to make it come off that way. If you feel unsafe, then please leave. I'm sorry. But just things like the 2 bros joke made me think of that, and I just want to share that story with you guys because it makes me laugh. Sway is so chill for someone who got buried alive. Yeah, honestly, she's cool. That's one of the S tiers that I was like bummed I never got. But it was also like for a character that I don't play that much and I have a bunch of stuff for anyway, so it's not like one I would like, I absolutely had to have, but it's just such a nice skin. I love Sway. I intend to uncover the secrets behind all this. I didn't read that. Drop the name, I'll deal with them. I deleted the comment, I have no idea who it is, and also I don't want to start anything. I think it's funny. Obviously, I don't think it's funny if people go out and do that to other people, but to me, to do that to me, I'm not encouraging you guys to do that. I'm not like, haha, let's have a laugh, send me slurs. But just like genuinely, if it happens once in a while, to me it's funny, because it's just like, you're the clown in this situation, like you're the loser here, so I think it's okay to laugh at it, but obviously, you know, not if that's happening to people other than me. nor do I want it to happen to me. It's just, yeah. It was just a funny thing that I thought I would share. I may have talked about it 1 or 2 times in other streams. I don't think I've ever talked about it in a video because I don't want it to be like a big thing, but it just made me laugh. It made me giggle. Someone broke that tear catcher on purpose. I'm sorry, I need to get through this. Earlier, I found a cotton thread behind the portrait. How long? Oh, this has been a 43-minute stream already. Earlier, I found a cotton thread behind the portrait that was connected to the tear catcher. Perhaps it wasn't the wind, but the portrait that made it fall. The tight thread between them broke, and so the tear catcher fell to the ground. They got mad over the most pathetic thing, too. I mean... Okay, like, maybe it was, like, I guess cringe, what I said, but, like, if you want to, like, I guess, if that's something you consider, like, a cringe statement, then that's the worst it is. But, like, I've said infinitely cringier things on this channel than that. And you know what? You know why I said that? Because I've had multiple people look at Norton and say that to me. Like, say that they want his gender. So that's why I made that joke, because I had multiple people tell me that. So, I'm just playing the messenger here. I've had multiple people tell me that, so it must be true. And I've had people say it was true in the comments, too, so... Lady Truth squats down to look for clues. I have a ping. Oh, G-Man's playing Aeroplanist. He just played a game where all of the survivors were Aeroplanist. Little do they know, cringe is dead. I still feel cringe sometimes. But I'm glad that you guys like my channel. You guys don't make me feel cringe. I appreciate it. I've said this before, I'll say it again. I'm a very anxiety-riddled person, so I'm always scared people are gonna, like, hate me. So I appreciate that y'all are so chill. They were uncultured, yeah. I'm just the messenger. I've had multiple people say that, so. Lady True squats down to look for clues. Found it! There really is a cotton thread on the ground. Was the tear catcher broken to draw our attention or confuse us, or perhaps it was a form of deception instead? Why would no one here admit that it belongs to them? I think it might be because the drug and the tear catcher is linked to all of you! You're all liars! Is there anyone else with connections to drugs here that I should know about? Now that's required as a process of elimination. I can't talk. His movements are random with his jetpack thing. I think you can just... Oh, no, they are random, aren't they? I don't remember. Yeah, I think I remember seeing something like that. That seems like it, I don't know, that's dicey. I'm kind of into it, though. I think we should have more, like, RNG stuff. That's what I like about Postman, because, like, you kind of just have to work with the letters you're given. I mean, it's not like game breaking, like nothing, you're not gonna get like a letter that's like so bad you can't do anything. But at the same time, I kind of like the random aspect. Firstly, Miss Goodwin, please pass me the vial by your waist. The children's hospital used a special drug to treat the children's infection, and the drug of the tear catcher has a similar smell to it, but they're not one and the same. Lady Truth takes a careful whiff of the true vials. Lady Truth is having a night. And then she passes them to the paranormal detective, who is similarly interested. They're like, all right, we gotta see, we gotta get. Come on, pass the drugs. So he has potential. I think he'll be good if you're good at him. I think he's gonna be like composer. Now this is me saying this not having played him. I think Aeroplanist is gonna be like composer, where everybody's playing him for a while for the like novelty of the gimmick, but then like nobody's gonna play him unless they're like actually like really good at him and like enjoy it past the novelty. I think that's how it's gonna be. But that's just my guess. The others seem very against it, and some even cover their noses with a handkerchief. The Goodwins have gone through a scandal once, so there's no need for them to expose their drug. I think the tear catcher doesn't belong to the Goodwins. Next is the paranormal detective. He merely wandered into Castle ZINAIDA, nor does he know ZINAIDA or anyone else here, so he has even less of a reason to break the tear catcher and fool everyone. Well, maybe that's what he wants you to think. The same goes for Sway. She's a friend of mine who doesn't know ZINAIDA. She attended the memorial as a gesture of goodwill, but she has no reason to break the tear catcher. That's what she wants you to think. You're a horrible detective. As for Miss Succubus, she had a short relationship with ZINAIDA in the past, but they lost contact after ZINAIDA's husband passed away. I don't think Miss Succubus has enough motive. 2 of the other people in this room have touched ZINAIDA's datura. One of them is me, and the other is Tubros. And the tear catcher with the smell of datura belongs to him, so we can rule out Tubros as well. I think they're all actively on drugs. Yeah, that would explain a lot. Listen, I don't know if I can say what I wanted to say on YouTube. I genuinely don't know if that's allowed, so I'm not gonna say it just in case. It's not anything bad, it's just I don't know their policy on talking about specific drugs, so we'll avoid that. Now that 6 people have been ruled out, only 2 who failed to provide a proper reason remain. Pastor and DM. It's probably DM. You truly deserve to be known as a famous detective. Who would have guessed I did something bad? Then let's narrow it down even more. There's something else everyone here is unaware of. DM showed me something special before this game began. ZINAIDA'S autopsy report. According to the report, the cause of death was a special drug. When I questioned DM earlier, he had already identified the drug on the ground as the drug from a failed research project in the past. I would like to question you again now, DM. Please answer me truthfully. Are you certain that the drug in the shattered tear catcher is the drug from your failed research project? How could I not recognize something that I researched? Basically, on its distinct smell and viscosity, I'm practically certain. It's based, but no, I read basically, so we're just gonna say it. Based? Emergency meeting, who's the imposter? Well, I think it's probably, like, DM, like, provided the drug, but it's probably Pastor, because, like, I don't know, he, like, betrayed Orion or whatever. That'll be fun. I hope he has a long monologue I can do the sad, pathetic Victorian voice for. Didn't you preserve the remnants of the drug in the vial? If you have doubts, you are free to use my laboratory. A quick test would tell us if I'm telling the truth, wouldn't it? DM is very candid. Alright, earlier you mentioned that the drug from your failed research project might induce hallucinations and even cause death, correct? I saw DM vent, yeah. Indeed. And according to the autopsy report, the deceased's bilateral pupil constriction, which led to the conclusion that the cause of death was a type of drug. So, does that mean the drug responsible for ZINAIDA'S death had hallucinogenic properties which caused the pupil to constrict? That is plausible. DM crosses his arms before his chest and seems to be waiting for me to say the obvious answer. With the drug spilled on the rug earlier, well, I couldn't tell what kind of liquid it was. The first thing that struck me was its smell. It smelled very much like datura. On this point, Miss Gooden was of the same mind during our prior conversation. I may have skipped a line of dialogue because I glanced away for a second. I'm genuinely not sure. Yes, they do smell alike, and you'll only notice the difference upon distinguishing them carefully. Of course, it belongs to the professional field, so it's understandable for most to be unable to differentiate them. Think about it. If this drug was placed with datura, would an ordinary person like ZINAIDA be able to distinguish them? I've got it! Mr. Inference, you're trying to say that someone switched the datura ZINAIDA used to maintain her focus with this drug, and ZINAIDA, who was busy writing, never had the thought or professional skill to distinguish if a daily item like that had been tampered with, and that's why she unknowingly consumed it and passed away. I nod and add my thoughts. DM reminds me of Nagito in the class trials acting a fool. I should play Danganronpa on stream. That could be really funny. Or really bad. That'd be awful. I'd lose so many subscribers. This is just a class trial. Where are my truth bullets? The killer is you! But That is merely a theory of mine. All we must do is take ZINAIDA'S sketchbook to the lab and compare it against the drug remnants to verify my inference. He said it, he said the thing. Oh yes, please, is a Danganronpa fan. I only have the second game on Steam. Okay, update. Don't use this up thing to try and go over walls. It doesn't work. Oh no. That's something I would do. Thanks for telling me. Suddenly, Pastor bumps into a chair. What are you fumbling around about for? Only those closest to her know about her habits. Dia voluntarily disclosed this to me during our conversation. I'm inclined to believe the tear catcher does not belong to him. He has no reason to fill it with his own drug and direct suspicion to himself. Then there's only one answer. Play 1 and 2, don't touch V3. Well, yeah, but the thing is, I played it, well, okay, there's not enough time to play V3 leading up to, the crossover, that's like next week, but the second game, I'm torn between 1 and 2, which one's my favorite, because I think I like the cast of 2 better, but like 1, I like the environment more, and like the closeness, like it feels more tense when you're like actually in the like enclosed setting. But I do think that the second one has like the better characters and like arcs and stuff. That's how I feel about it anyway. I point my finger at Pastor. The killer is you! Mr. Inference, if Pastor's tear catcher contained the drug that killed ZINAIDA, then what would that mean? We'll have to ask the person who broke the tear catcher. I glance at DM. The tear catcher was broken on purpose, and everyone's tear catcher was handled by a single person and placed beneath the portrait, and I think he recognized the drug from the moment Pastor handed the tear catcher to him. He's just that confident with the drugs of his experiments. That person is DM. Alright, fine. It seems I have no choice but to admit it now. I admit that I broke the tear catcher. I've heard of a psychological condition where the murderer exposes the murder weapon to achieve some kind of gratification. The smell of that drug is truly too familiar to me. Even until the moment I gathered all the vials and placed them on the fireplace, I still couldn't believe that you had the guts to do that, Pastor. So I immediately took out your vial from the rest when the electricity tripped, because I really couldn't wait to see the look on your face when the murder weapon is exposed like this. Oh. Well, yeah, I like the contrast of the tropical island, too. I'm just saying that I think that the first environment, like in the first game, it builds better tension. I do like the contrast. I highly appreciate it. I'm just saying that I think that it's a little stronger with the... It may be more generic, but I think it builds better atmosphere. Both are very good, though. I like them both. I mean, I wish some things were written differently, of course. We don't even talk about... I don't remember what trial number it was. I think the third one. Yeah, the third one in the first game. That one's a mess. But I'm going to try and keep things spoiler-free here, by the way, just in case there's anybody who... Monami's practice lesson is... That's the name of the OST song, right? I think it is, because like that's like one of my favorite songs. The emo Victorian actually did it? Yes. Sorry, I just realized I'm ruining the entire tension talking about Danganronpa right now. It's like the killer is you! Hold on, we gotta talk about if we like Danganronpa 1 or 2 better. Who cares that he killed her? I want to talk about Danganronpa. Yeah, I may have talked about, I don't remember if I've ever talked about my hot take. My Danganronpa hot take. Well, I'm just gonna leave it at that and leave you guys in suspense, because I don't know. It is, okay, Monami's practice lesson, that's what I thought. I couldn't remember if that was something else, but I thought it was the song and the soundtrack, and I love that one. That's one of my favorite tracks. Danganronpa has really good music. The room falls absolutely silent again after our chat about Danganronpa. Only the pattern of the rain outside remains. You're wrong. Oh, I like how the music shifted to something more somber. I didn't do it for gratification. Pastor hides in the shadows at the corner, concealing his expression from us. However, the scene feels absolutely familiar to me. At the end of the novel, Erwin lurked in the shadows of Castle Umbra as well. And it was the moment he emerged from the shadows that Orion realized Erwin had betrayed him. I placed the drug in that tear catcher because I hoped it would seal my sin forever. And when I return to the kingdom of God, I will be able to cleanse my sins. Do you think DM Ken's Komeda? Oh, Komeda? I don't know why. I don't know. I just read that wrong. Yeah, probably. Andrew, my favorite. He's my favorite voice to do. He kisses the necklace on his chest again. Please forgive me, Zinaida. Zinaida, I don't know why I just started like reading every single character's name wrong in the span of 2 minutes. What's wrong with me? Zinaida? What? Zinaida's husband was my uncle. The Count has told you all about it. I've been sick since I was a child. Ahem. That's me being sick. He covers his face with his hands and then quickly covers his arm. But no matter how he tries to hide it, it's impossible to hide the patches of pale skin. I was born with this, but he shouldn't have been so mean about something that is beyond a person's control. He kept calling me an impure and unclean bastard. Oh, bummer. Sorry. Zendaya. I was close friends with Zendaya. No. He clenches his fist tightly. So that night, I followed my uncle and sneaked into his lab, and then I put on a pair of rubber gloves and electrocuted him to death with his equipment in the lab. A sad, wet cat of a man. Yeah. Oh no. He's just British. Yeah, guys, be nice. He deserved it. He should feel my pain. Later on, I met Zendaya. Later on, I met Zinaida, and only then did I find out that I wasn't the only one in the world who suffered my uncle's torment. But when I met her in person, I panicked. I just killed her. I just killed her, bro. Because I was afraid that she visited me with ulterior motives. What if she had evidence? I grew even more afraid. I'm afraid that she would find out I killed my uncle and publicize it. A clergyman killed someone out of hatred. What a joke. And it would only grow worse with time. And she stopped coming to church at that time. I couldn't stop myself from thinking in that direction. And the more it appeared in my mind, the louder the mocking got. They were like, ha 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 ha. That was the mocking. That was me. That was my mocking laughter. I gotta stop doing bits that I'm not fully confident in. They're so bad every time. These thoughts tormented me until I decided to visit her. She fully trusted me, and even thought I was concerned about her. I'm gonna reread that line. She fully trusted me and even thought I was concerned about her. She was busy writing during that time. Once I found out about her habits, I switched her to Tura, and you know the rest. Murder, baby. If you know what I mean. You know, I killed her, basically. His voice grows softer while the pattering of the rain against the window grows louder. You killed Zinaida just because you suspected she might know that you killed her husband? Not to mention that even if she found out, you should have turned yourself in instead of harming that family again. I'm sorry. Lady Truth is furious. Meanwhile, Sway steps forward. I still don't have a voice. It's just an excuse you made for yourself. As I said before, according to the file on Zinaida's husband, a lethal dose of a drug was found in the body of the deceased. I withheld the facts of this case due to professional ethic considerations. Now, out of personal ethics, I think I should tell you about it, Pastor. In fact, judging by the time I can't read. In fact, judging by the time the drug was in his system, he'd probably consumed it before you'd even killed him. So he was dead before you even attempted to murder him, and now that misunderstanding has taken ZINAIDA'S life as well. You called her a good friend, yet you were so cruel to her. Pastor falls to the ground, sinks his head into his hands, and seems to be in great pain. Me too. Me every time I make a bit that fails. A while passes before he sobs. I say we forgive him. Apple, you're so right. It's not that I felt no regret. I have strayed from the will of God. I'm sorry, ZINAIDA. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I think he counters Night Watch, a bit more experiments needed. God, I hope so. Not my Night Watch hatred on main. I know there's someone who like mains Night Watch in the chat, or I don't know if they're here, but they join my stream sometimes, and I'm sorry, you're the exception. If you main Night Watch and you're my fan, I don't hate you. But otherwise, get out. Pastor did nothing wrong. Yeah, he's up there with Tribin. Honestly. Oh yeah, it's you. Yay. Yeah, you're allowed to stay, but all the other Night Watchers are on thin ice. He closes his eyes and keeps saying that he's sorry. It's the end for you now. I don't know whether your God will forgive you, but I know the law will not. Oh, she's kind of badass. Whimpering, apologizing, you gotta pity him. Come with me, Pastor. I'm taking you in. Pastor did nothing wrong. Just like Tribin, best character in 985. Exactly, y'all get it. Mr. Inference, please take the remnants of the drug and sketchbook with you for further investigation. The drug residue on the sketchbook is the best form of proof. Lady Truth? I was about to ask Lady Truth for the sketchbook when I noticed her lost at thought with the sketchbook in her arms. Mr. Inference? Yes, what is it? I unintentionally flipped to the last page earlier, and I found a handwritten draft written by ZINAIDA. It's a different ending that we overlooked. Amid the sound of breaking bones, the necromancer collapses. The flames of evil are gradually extinguished, leaving only wisps of smoke behind. After Erwin defeats the necromancer, he finally arrives below the world tree. The wind whistles through the valley and makes his blood-stained clothes flutter. You are without enemies now, child. The voice seems to come from the depths of the valley, and it echoes over and over again through the valley. Is it the world tree calling out to him? Pastor struggles free of sway and pounces at the sketchbook. His back trembles violently as he carefully picks up the page. Erwin can't help but wonder, is this the world tree's response to him? But at that moment, he feels a huge surge of energy Sometimes they don't translate this very well. He feels a huge surge of energy pours into him, yet he feels extremely light, like his entire body is wrapped within a soft leaf. I want to be wrapped within a soft leaf. That sounds fantastic. When he flies past the top of the world tree, he sees a flower bud growing from the withering leaves. Erwin finally understands that the world has been restored to its original order, just as he once believed. Everyone falls silent upon reading the ending to the story. Meanwhile, tears roll down Pastor's cheeks and drip down onto the draft. He seems pretty sad. The page spontaneously combusts when coming into contact with the tears, and even the sketchbook catches fire. Oh no! That's our proof. Elsa Goodwin manages to get a pot of water and extinguishes the fire. Nothing but burnt marks remain on the wooden floor. Perhaps this is also part of ZINAIDA'S plan. It's getting more and more interesting. I squat down and take a swab of the ash with my finger and smell it carefully. I smell a chemical. Oh wait, I don't know why I just started making him serious. He's goofy, that's his voice. I smell a chemical. The sketchbook must have been specially treated. ZINAIDA even planned out the ending for all of us. She wishes to give Pastor another chance, doesn't she? Oh, we're gonna forgive him. Yes. Forgiveness. Lady Truth and I feel a sense of melancholy. Mr. Inference, the only piece of evidence is gone now. It seems you've lost. Pastor, you still have to come with me and make a statement at the police station. Pastor struggles to get himself to his feet. I will go with you. Wait, I have a question before you go. Before I go, I'm gonna leave, sorry. The fire happened because they were on drugs too. Even the book was on drugs. No, we can't win. Mr. Inference, if you were Zinaida, which one of these two endings for Erwin would you have preferred? So much drugs, why? Because it's Identity 5. One is a traitor who chose to let the world burn. And the other is a savior who chose to let the world be reborn. We're rhyming, we're rapping. This is DM's rap. One is a traitor who chose to let the world burn, and the other is a savior who chose to let the world be reborn. Bars. Absolute bars. Guys, I think I should start a rap career. That was awful. But I'm not Zinaida. I can only represent myself, and I don't like either of these endings. They both suck. Evil should be punished according to the law, so I just like the first ending. Not even the most beautiful vision can make up for a person's wrongdoing, so I just like the second ending as well. Then do you like the ending here in Castle Zinaida? I gaze at the ridiculous pile of ashes and then glance at Pastor's dejected figure. Identity 5 becoming Euphoria? Well, that's why Zendaya is here. It all makes sense. I've never seen Euphoria, I just know Zendaya's in it. What would my rapper name be? Lil Ender, for sure. Or no, I should do like something Identity 5 themed. What's like... Lil Postman. Lil Postman main. Lil X A badge Postman. Those are good. We'll workshop it. Oh wait, no, Lil Tribbin Liker. That sounds weird. No, what's Lil Tribbin Apologist. Enderbox the beatboxer. Endernux. This is so good. I love this. It's okay, sorry. I got very distracted by the rap names. In the past, I wouldn't hesitate to say the only justice and punishment can change a person's nature. But now I may have doubts about what I used to believe in. Lil Nux. Oh no. Oh, Lil New X. Lil Nux. This is so bad. It's gotta have Lil at the start though. Oh, then what do you think is capable of changing a person's nature? For me, it's remorse. I think you should feel awful. Cool. Is that it? Are we done? Yeah, we stayed online a lot longer than 30 minutes. Oh, wow. What a story. Half of that was me just ranting.